It's Tuesday night. We're now rocking with the best. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate it. It's the Friday Nights Experience, the thought-provoking, black culture journey, sports entertainment, current events, politics, you name it, we discuss it. It's a big night right here, man. I've been waiting for this night for a long time, man. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into some things. I got some very esteemed guests here on the Friday Nights Experience, man. I want to give these brothers their due, and I don't think that they get enough credit in the hoops community for what they've done and what they've accomplished in this little old state we like to call Delaware, man. To me, these guys are as much hoops royalty as any other guys that are talked about. I want to introduce, man. If you don't know, I'm not sure why you wouldn't know. But if you don't know, I like to call a man the plug, and we'll get into that later, man. We'll get into that, man. My man, Rob Turner, assistant coach. We'll get into that. Matter of fact, we'll get into that. And to his left, man, Mr. We live in the Final Four. We live in the Final Four, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. We live in the Final Four. What did you think? My man D-Nell Vaughn, man. How you fellas doing, man? How y'all doing?
Can't complain.
Doing good, man. Doing good. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Long time coming. So listen, as you know, man, I'm P, man. This is my man across the table, my boy.
Nice, man.
To the left.
It's your boy Fresh Fire, and I'd like to just say hello and how are ya?
Once again, we live from Studio 7, man. Names and faces will be protected. Wouldn't be concealed to protect the innocent. Let's start off how we normally start off, bro, man. Fresh, what's got you on fire tonight, man, before we dive in head first, man? Let's take care of town business.
Well, in honor of our two esteemed guests tonight on our show, man, you know, it could have been a couple things that had me on fire. But as I was doing the day, man, I said, oh, you know what? This would be right for the show tonight. It's got a little something to do with our theme tonight, which is basketball. And a little thing that got to do with a little bit of loyalty. And my theme is Dame Lillard has to fucking go. Just to preface, man, Dame Lillard is my favorite point guard in the NBA standing right now. I love him. I love what he do. I love Dame time. I love how cold he is when it's point something on the clock. I love that. His loyalty, it's not in question at all. We know you loyal to the soil, baby. Rings are not the focus, and they shouldn't be. But this is the age of player empowerment, my brother. And you just too great to be sitting around looking like you look. I was scrolling, and what really got my goat today was when I seen Gilbert Arenas and J.R. Smith. They were talking about how great my favorite point guard was, and they was like, so you just gonna rot in Portland, bro? And oh my God! I said, God damn it, I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen, man. What are you doing, bro? You gotta go. Your loyalty's not in question. Your bag, which is what, $61 million every 365 days around the sun? We ain't made it that at all, baby. But what I got to say is, man, I'm not going to be able to keep calling you my favorite point guard in the league if you keep running from the motherfucking ground. What you doing, man? We really need you to step up and start playing NBA professional elite level basketball. Just like these brothers right here at those levels to this shit, and you can be good here, and you can be good here, but with the talents that you have, and the things that you've done, and the potential that everybody gives to you, and the things that are bestowed to you, I, myself, now am imploring you to get the hell out of Portland and get on a team that you can get you the right accolades so you can get your career the right proper love that it deserves. Get the fuck out of Portland. I said it here tonight.
Calm down, bro. Calm down. That shit got you on fire, bro.
Oh, man. One of my favorite all-time NBA moments is I use it every now and then as my Facebook cover. When he hit the shot on Paul George, and he hit this woman, he waved by to him. But the crowd, everybody jumping on and they're going crazy. He looked at the camera just like this. God, that's going on. I'm like, God, that's cold. It's cold.
That's cold. Woo! That's cold as shit, man. That's cold as shit.
You ain't gonna be that cold. You stay in Portland.
That's cold as shit. But listen, man, we got a long night ahead of us. Let's get into some shit, man. Let's get into some shit here. First, listen, man, and like I said before, man, you got to be living under a rock to not know who they are. But I'm with full disclosure, man. You know what I mean? First and foremost, I know it's a member missing here, and shout out to Kevis, because I know, from my, us being around sort of the same time, that's kind of that's the third man on the team, and where y'all explain, man, where did this come from? This thing here, where did this thing come from?
Started with him. Honestly, it all started with an idea that I came up with. I was following behind a kid that I met, because before I got into basketball, I was doing modeling. That wasn't necessarily my thing. I met a kid named Alex Hackett, and he turned out to be a very, very good young basketball player. So I kind of guided him to where I thought that he should go for basketball, and he ended up on a team called Delaware Panthers. And I followed them around for like a couple years, and I was like, this is what I need to be doing.
Right.
So I got with matter of fact, Darnell wasn't even involved in the beginning.
Okay.
I got with Kevis.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, because me and Kevis went to high school together. We played on the same high school team, and we went to the same junior college together for at least a little bit before he went somewhere else.
So even a deeper connection. Okay.
So
So even
like,
deeper connection. Shout out to Kevis again, man.
Right.
Absolutely, man.
And so I was like, yo, I want to do this coaching thing. So I sat at work, and I drew up a pamphlet, and I showed it to both of them, because Darnell had a son around the age of the kids that we was targeting. I think they were all 9 at the time.
Okay.
And then so Darnell was the dad. And then I guess he just caught the vibe and was like, man, I want to be a part of this too. And
Was that intentional? Was that, or just
No,
it just developed organically?
No, actually, I had no intention. We were playing, it's a tournament. So, to kid Quade Green, we're playing this team, Philadelphia Freedom.
Right.
I think they were called. So they're playing, I'm on the sideline, typical dad screaming and hollering. I need to do this, y'all.
Oh, I know.
So while they were doing it, the parents were coming over to me telling them, why don't you go over there? They listening to what you said. Why don't you go over there? Why don't you go over there? Why don't you go over there? I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I'm over here. with, with y'all. She's like, no. Like, they literally listening to what you saying. Why don't you go over there? So after it was over, I kind of went up to him. I was like, they said this, and our temperaments match.
Okay.
Because I'm a little bit more fiery, and he's always even keeled.
Okay.
So what happens is if I get him, yes. So we work as a coaching staff together because when I'm losing it, he's always even keeled. So he's thinking when I'm off, like, so if I needed to, if there was a key sub, he'll see some things that I don't see. Dude, we got to sub this dude in. Now, I might be lost over here, but he sees it.
But also that works the other way too, because when he's even killed, but there's a spark that's needed.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Then boom. You know what I mean? So that's a perfect dynamic, man. Perfect dynamic, man. Anything y'all want to add?
Well, to that, I wanted to ask, did you think you'll be doing this long when you first started?
No.
I had no idea how long it was going to last, but once a group graduated or moved on to, I guess, like college, because we got 3 different groups now, you still want to do it.
Got you. Because you said you got into it through Alex Hackett, and I want to say shout out to Ted Hackett, Diamond. She helped raise my babies. You know what I'm saying? Alex is a very good young man, but you said you got into it just from the side. So neither one of y'all sort of kind of got into it like with the intention of I want to do this for a long time. So that's why I wanted to ask, like, did you see yourself doing it this long?
No, it was once we. I think once we started doing it. So let's say in the beginning, we had our first little group. I don't think we went to any big tournament. I don't. You remember this?
Talk about that group.
We didn't do anything until we could beat Chester. If we couldn't beat Chester, if we couldn't beat Chester, we decided we just wasn't going out nowhere. Like we wasn't going to no big tournaments because they would come down here and whoop up on us.
What age group is this?
The first group was about 8 or 9 year olds.
Okay.
And how it happened is I had a nephew they were all around the same age, 8 or 9, and my nephew was playing in a YMCA league, and I'm just there, supporting my nephew, being a big uncle, and I'm seeing all of these kids. I'm like, yo, these kids can play.
Right.
And one of the kids was Eric Ayala.
Okay.
One of them was Jordan Money. I think Jordan Camper.
Oh wow. Okay.
And these are all just 8-year-olds, they having fun, but you can see like these kids got talent. So I went to the parents, like, none of them know me. I'm like, these kids are good, and we need to try to put all of them on the same team.
Okay.
And after it didn't work like that originally, but after a while they kind of saw like this could be something.
Okay.
And we ended up having Eric Ayala, Jordan Money, Miles Kale, Trayvon Duval, Famir Ali.
Some major names, man.
Yes.
Well, you're not done though. Because I know, but
There are more, but those are that come to mind like right now. But at that time, we had all of those kids.
Now was that pre AAU or was that just local basketball and not necessarily
It was
circuit yet at that point?
It was what you would just call like a travel.
Okay.
We didn't have like AAU cards.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Learning that part of the business or that part of the game.
Circuits or programs or anything. But to our knowledge, we knew that Chester had a healthy basketball history. So we figured we wanted to see if we were as good as, or we could beat these kids before we took them any further.
Now, how'd that work out?
Well, for about 2 years, we got our ass.
Chester would do that to you. Chester would do that, man, because
for 2 years we had what we thought were very good kids, but we weren't consistently playing against a level of talent that the Chester Youths were.
And to their credit, their grassroots system is pretty organized, man. So at that particular age, they've already played and traveled, quite a bit in an organized fashion. And on that level, if you're trying to compete on that level, that means a lot. that experience, because you could be good one-on-one or whatever have you, but that whole team environment and travel environment, it's a different animal, man. It's a different animal.
They just said you good at home, but can we take you out
Yeah.
of town?
Yeah.
Different animal,
Out of
man.
town?
Yeah.
It's a different animal.
Shout out to my baby D Live, man. Can we take you to the Lancaster tour? Can we take you to the Lancaster tour? Shout out to my baby D Live.
Can you swim with them guys though? So I mean, around that time, this is what 2010ish, 11 maybe
10,
2010ish. Okay, so I remember being on the circuit and explain that team, that the whole theme behind that team that you had, that whole program.
Well, at the time, my daughter was born in 2008. I named her Royalty.
Shout out.
She was before the team was called Delaware Royalty. So I named the team after her. Kivas, who we mentioned earlier, is my daughter's godfather. So the team was called Delaware Royalty. But at the same time, Royalty was like the best of Delaware basketball too. So it kind of like was going intertwined with each other.
It's only right.
And they was flashy.
So we wanted to.
They was flashy. Because you figure, all of the teams, that I remember on the circuit, man, they had hard colors, black and red, and you know what I mean? They was the only team out there with the purple and gold.
That was something when he said royalty, when he named him royalty and named after your daughter. That was sort of kind of when I started picking it up, and I was like, oh, these guys fucking put it down. You know what I'm saying? They just put it down. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, man?
You know what I'm saying? I was like, these guys have been putting it down. So that's when I got into it. How good did it make you guys feel to have your first success? I guess, like you say, beat your chest for that first time.
I mean, I just think like it meant we can go compete.
It meant a lot though, because I don't know what y'all know about Chester. The fans are really, really enthused about Chester basketball.
I know.
Yeah.
Lived there for 12, 14
Yeah, you know
years.
about it.
And with us, we had our 5 or 6 parents that was just as enthused, but it's only 5 or 6.
Right.
So when they beating us, they letting us know.
Right.
But then when we got to the point to where we could beat them, our little 5 or 6 let all of them know.
Right.
And that's a big thing with that community there, man. It's like that passion and that whole program was named appropriately, man, as far as the pride. It's a pride thing up there, you know what I mean? And I got to soak that up for over a decade up there, you know what I'm saying? And
Be
it's
frank,
prideful.
And to be frank, if we would have had what they had, we would have had more pros.
Now let me okay. So what's the problem? Let's jump. Let's totally jump. What's the problem, you think? Now you said if our situation was like there,
If Wilmington, Delaware was like them,
and we're only talking just the city area.
I'm talking about
We're
just the
city.
period.
Right.
You got to remember, Chester shielded those kids.
Right.
They had crime just like we got crime. It's
Right.
no different.
It's crime everywhere.
But the way the community rallied around those children, and it's also could be because there's one school. Now we're spread apart, Wilmington High, Howard.
So we got different obstacles.
different
Yeah.
obstacles.
Absolutely.
But if we would have shielded and surrounded our youth the way they did, we had just as much talent.
Okay.
Without a shadow of a doubt. We have so many shoulda, coulda, woulda stories you can shake a stick at. It's Lord knows how many shoulda, coulda, wouldas in the Wilmington, Delaware. It's just-
Now is it shoulda, coulda, woulda from the standpoint of a flaw in our grassroots system, or shoulda, woulda, coulda, just because the trappings of the inner city? Because every inner city got that.
yeah, it's a flaw in the grassroots.
Okay, we're gonna get into
flaw in the
that. We're gonna
grassroots.
get it because that's big. That's huge. That being as though now you two have gone through at least, I'm gonna say, a decade of this thing. You know what I mean? Starting from mom and pop shop to where you are now. That's a big transition and seeing a lot of things go on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tell me about the growing pains of that, man, because you was one of the original mom and pops with, running around here, man, when mom and pops had a little power back then.
Growing pains. We had a team that had about 7 kids that was on their way to going to high school and would probably be all starters as freshmen. The whole team decided they wanted to go somewhere else. And we didn't understand it. It was like, why are you leaving? But they went to this thing called the sneaker circuit. And we like, well, what the hell is that? So we had to regroup. So we went back and got a whole new group of kids.
Now that
And
was a
2
wild
years later-
era.
2 years later, we won an AAU national championship.
Oh, what are you talking about? But that's a wild era though, because I remember that. I remember when the shoe companies decided, okay, well, we're not just going to do high school. We're going to drop down to middle school. Remember that? That was a wild time.
And that's when, to be
That's when
honest,
all hell
we are
broke loose.
now. That's part of what, I mean, I remember years ago, Mike Nolan, a real good friend of mine, Mike, we were at the tournament, and he looked at me, he said, D, what we got is pure right
Yeah.
now. He said, but when the sneaker company come into this, they're going to destroy it.
Oh,
As
yes.
soon as they come to the middle school, they're going to destroy it. And I didn't understand, when he said that, I didn't get it. But now, I get it. I see what he meant.
I
didn't
want to put a
understand.
year on that too, because I think I remember the year. It might have been 2012. If you can recall, it might have been 2012. And I remember the first team around here that had a big imprint and made the change was they went from the Harvest Knights to team final. That was the first jump, and that might have been 2012. I want to say. I know they were in their 7th grade year. That team was in their 7th grade year, and Nike made them a team. And then the next year, in their 8th grade year, they put a couple of high school kids from 9th grade on that team, and they played up in the 9th grade on the 9th grade circuit. So that was their kind of like bridge. Describe that time. How did that impact y'all as far as this sneaker company? Did you think you could stick it out, or you just said, man, fuck it, because we got blasted? You know what I
We
mean?
fight it, like no bullshit, no lie. One of our kids went to a family reunion in Washington, D.C. He came back from Washington, D.C. with a trunk full of basketball sneakers, and we couldn't get in touch with him no more.
Talk to my agent.
And we just played them.
That's how it happens.
And we had just played them the week before, and they were the #1 team in America, and we took them to the limit. Like, to the limit.
Buzzer beater.
Buzzer beater.
Like somebody must have said, "Who the hell are these kids, and why are they that close to us?"
Yeah, and we can't get them.
And we
I mean,
lost.
I'm talking about
And
the
we
crowd.
can't get 'em.
And that crowd was raucous. I remember, being a coach, still laugh. I remember the dude in the crowd said, "Man, I'll kill you."
There's certain crowds, though. There's certain places you go. Baltimore and D.C.,
Yeah, I'll kill you.
You gotta take that. You gotta take that.
North Philly. North Philly? Oh, man. You go up North Jersey? Yeah. It's certain crowds, man. It's definitely certain crowds. I remember that time, man. That was a weird time, man, because you started to see when kids wasn't coming to practice, you like, oh, shit. You like, oh, shit. Because it's you can hide them a little bit, you know what I mean, when they in 6th grade and 7th grade, 5th, 6th, 7th grade. But unfortunately, the further you go and the bigger you get, you can't hide that kid no more, and you get them external forces pulling. You know what I mean? It's like now whereas the kid used to answer the phone the first time you call, now you got to call 2 or 3 times. You got to call the mom now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Get a
he
little-
with you? He said he was at practice. He ain't with you?
Man. Yeah, I remember them times, man. That was a wild time. But he mentioned, y'all got something that not many people around here have.
Hit the horn on this one.
That's one of them big trophies, man. One of them big things, man.
It's very few, very few.
Now mind you, hold on. Now, to my recollection, I know we've had some teams that have been ranked. I remember the Hawks, right? If I'm not mistaken, they finished like number 5 in the country one year, right? But nobody ever bought the hardware home. Not on that particular level. To my recollection, am I wrong or?
I don't don't think we were the first to win that.
Who was the first to win that? Oh no, a national championship. A national
The
championship.
world, Craig. The world.
That's not small, man. That's not small. Not a lot of people know
I
that.
don't know, man. There definitely was somebody, but I can't think of who.
If you can remember, let me know. If anybody remember, who's won? Now I know. Shout out to Marky D and his girls team. They just won a national championship, right? If I'm not mistaken.
But they won. I mean, they won a championship. No,
It wasn't a national champion. Okay.
It was called an East Coast championship.
Okay. But the differential is national AAU champion.
Yeah.
I don't want that to.
Like we played a team from Arizona. We played a team from North Carolina.
Right.
Tell me about that run.
Right.
Tell us about that. What that was, 6th grade team, right?
Yeah. So
Tell us about that run, man. That's special.
Yeah, I see you smiling. Go ahead.
Because I told Darnell we was going to win it after we won the tournament prior to going there, and he was like, "What are you talking about?" We had went to the what's it called, Maryland Invitational.
MIT, for those that don't know, huge, major.
Tournament called the Maryland Invitational. Teams from all over the country, and we won the championship at the Maryland Invitational. It wasn't. It was like different tiers or something. Like they had like a high level gold, and we had lost one of the pool games, so we went to the silver, and we played a team called Playtime Panthers or something like that in the championship.
New Jersey.
And they had this really, really good player who ended up, I think he got killed. But he was really, really good. And we beat them. And I'm like, yo, Dick, when we go to the Nationals, we going to win it.
We got some.
Because we just beat that team. And that team
Right.
was considered like really good. He was like, yeah, right.
But the crazy thing was though that around that time, it was a hell of a time because in this particular area you had a lot of national primers. Like when you went to Mike Melton tournament, you may run into a team from Ohio and all that, man. And you had some tournaments around here that was prepping you. Shout out to Mike because Mike's system of tournaments kind of prepped you for nationals. And the MIT was definitely another primer that prepped you for that environment, man.
Absolutely.
It definitely did. That tournament, that tournament had like maybe 100 teams broken down to maybe like
Where remember run and shoot?
yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all came. Matter of fact, y'all came there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Y'all came
I
there.
remember that.
Yeah, y'all came there. What was going through your mind, man, right after that tournament? When he told you that, and you told him he was crazy. At that point you didn't? Tell me what was going on in your
I
mind.
mean, even right now when I'm coaching, I can be a little hard on the kids because I know that the opportunities that they have are not the opportunities we had.
Right.
So when they don't take advantage of them, I can get a little hard on them. So it was around that time I felt they were goofing around, probably weren't paying attention to detail the way you might want them to. And when they don't, you start doubting. You know when your team's clicking when they're paying attention to detail.
Right.
When you ain't got to do too much talking, they know what they're supposed to do, know where they're supposed to be at, they know what a good shot is, bad shot is. That stuff, you know. But they were at that time they were kind of goofing around. And yeah, I was like that. That's why I said we had that kind of. Even when I'm a pessimist about something, he's always going to say, now if he goes, man, we do that. You know what I'm saying? Did we do it? You know what I'm saying?
Look, we doomed, man.
That's it.
Pack it up.
That's it.
Give me some of the names on that team, that particular team, man.
They were 6th graders. Mind you, 6th grade, I guess 12 years old.
Right.
We had 5, maybe 6. I know it's 5. 5 kids all over 6 feet tall at the time.
Nah, we need to check birth certificates.
And that
All of that.
And that happened.
Now for 12U, that's a pretty big
We
team.
had 5 kids.
That's a pretty big team for 12U.
That's awesome. You can find.
Yeah.
Chris Crawford.
Paul Brown, who graduated from Salesiana. Jamal Whittlesey, who graduated from Salesiana.
Shadow Hustle Man.
Chris Cropper, who graduated from St. Francis in Baltimore, but he started here in Wilmington at St. Elizabeth. Kenny Edelin graduated from Middletown, and Noah Taylor, who went to Red Lion.
Is that DeMatha from now? DeMatha, right?
Yeah.
Football player. That's
So we
right.
had 5 kids that were over 6 feet tall. We had Trayvon Alderman.
Money, son.
Yeah.
Trayvon Alderman.
Shadow Money.
Famir Ali.
Murray.
kid that
Sean.
his older brother played for y'all. I think.
Oh, I need to talk about. Sean Johnson.
Sean Johnson. We had a kid named Kevin Dent, and his son Darnell.
That's dedication to remember all the names of the 6th grade age.
Yeah, man, they stick with you. They
I mean,
definitely
I'm
stick
not,
with
not
you.
saying like that, but I know he's coached a lot of people,
Yeah.
men and boys and girls. He remembered the whole damn union.
They stick with you though. Yeah, well, you spend so much time with them though. You spend so much time with them, man, that it sticks. You know what I mean? It sticks with you, man, and over that time.
I think I named 10 kids. Every single one of them was good enough to be a starter.
And that bond, man, that you have with those kids, because on that level, the season starts in what, September?
Yeah.
On that level, season started September. It's not over till now. You know what I mean? So it's not like
All
high
year
school.
long.
Yeah, it's exhausting. It's gratifying, but it's definitely exhausting, man. Definitely exhausting.
And expensive.
Yeah. We was on that corner, man.
Please reach
On
out.
that corner begging for money.
Please reach
Yeah.
out and support your local AAU basketball teams. They doing the Lord's work out here, man. Please, I mean, like you said, they didn't win a national championship. I'm pretty sure you ain't sent them a nickel. So if you send them a nickel, we send them a nickel. They going to feed you.
I just told somebody the other day. They was like, man, how much you gotta be? I'm like, if you told everybody that you knew and they gave you $20, it adds up.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling you give.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You
$500.
bring the whole bag.
No, you both form together. It's called a village. Like,
Also, on that particular team, every single kid I named all went to college.
That's a major shout out.
For football or basketball too. Yeah. Got a couple two sport players on them teams too.
Yeah, that's guidance, man. That's a testament to the impact that these two men have on these kids' lives, man. That doesn't go unnoticed, because even the kids, I'm pretty sure y'all still in touch with them kids. Them kids are still, active. You're still active in their lives. You know what I mean? And that's, you spend that much time. That's a bond. And for all of those kids to have that kind of success, man, that's big, man. Big shout out to y'all for doing that, man. That's big. And that's just the national championship group. That's just the national championship group.
Give more their applause. Now, one thing I ain't gonna say I wanted to ask, because me and the good brother, that's my NBA, my basketball insider, D-Nell Vaughn. He will call me up on the phone to educate me, school me, if you will, about some shit that I didn't know. Now, this is one particular time I wanted to piggyback on, traveling and things like that. It was one particular time that I guess I took a little issue with, some of the talent league in Delaware. And I'm like, man, Delaware would look like something if the Delaware talent stayed in Delaware. Bring! My bro D-Nell, let me tell you why that's not the issue. Can you please tell our audience why it's so important for you to travel with your skills? And if you can't sharpen your skills where you at, you got to go where it's hot.
I mean, you got to be good enough, first of all. So let's be clear. You can do it here. We've been proven. Dante DiVincenzo has proven it. Bones Howland has proven it. So yes, you can do it here. But also make no mistake, those kids also played high-level AAU with great programs. They played against great competition. So when they came home, they were able to dominate home. So if you're going to be home and you can't dominate home, then it may not be for you. If you're home, you have to be able to dominate, because we know
Absolutely.
that our state does not have the best competition that a person can get. Now, if you're dominating, then yes, you can stay here. But then also you may need to sharpen your sword. You may need to leave the state so you can sharpen your sword. And that just is some kids, that's their way out. That's the way they got to do it. Because everybody's role is a little different. But if you're really that good, yeah, you can do it here. But you have to be able to dominate.
Everybody's not built like that.
Everybody's not built.
Everybody's not built like that.
No.
The good, I could almost remember that morning. I think he might even been at work.
I was.
and shout out to the good brother, like, nah. He was like, I don't call everybody. I don't do this. He was like, nah, I think I need to tell you something, bro. and he put me on. I was like, you know what? That sounds right. You know what I'm saying? If you're here playing nice and you good, that's one thing. Okay, cool. Then you can go to maybe somewhere and fill out your career. You'll be an accountant somewhere. That's fine. But if you really want to do this thing that y'all doing, like, nah, you gotta, if you good here, or if you great here, you gotta go at least be good somewhere else. Yeah. Or you ain't even great here.
Right.
I think that's what he you know what I'm saying? I may be paraphrasing, but that's what he was saying. Like, nah, you might be great here, but if you ain't good somewhere else, you ain't even great here.
Right.
How hard is it to keep a kid, man, in terms of, just with our basketball culture, how hard is it to keep a kid here?
When you say here, you mean like at his
And
high school?
because keep in mind, we've lost some kids to neighboring schools. You know what I'm saying?
But that was something the good brother put me on to. He said, well, Delaware just don't get it.
No.
He said Delaware just
No, you
don't get
expound
it.
because that's
Other states.
expound on that though. When you say we just don't get it,
I mean, you got the governing bodies. Like, for instance, we'll talk about, for instance, D.C. D.C. has a shot clock. They have a nationally prominent league, the WCAC. Then you have Philadelphia has the Philadelphia Catholic League. Our governing body is handicapping us. We're talking about, he's a high school coach. How many games you guys get to play a year?
We get the maximum of 20.
That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke.
That was just in conference.
It's high school.
He was in
There's high school teams playing 40 games
That's
a
what I'm trying to
year.
tell you. It's a joke.
And the school that I coach at, we're not in a conference, so we get the luxury of being able to schedule whoever we want. But those schools that are in a conference, they only get 20 games, and it's, 10 teams in a conference?
So you're talking 75% of the state is handcuffed for the most part.
Yeah, so the kids are not really getting to see that that level. They're just playing a few games and thinking they're doing something. Right. And there's another kid that's doubling them, playing and getting their reps. These kids need their reps. And let's also talk about the fact that in these days and time, when we were growing up, we all went to the park. Period. Every day, all day. They don't go to the park.
Did AAU kill the park?
I don't think it did. I think the environment killed the park. I think the crime killed the park. I think technology killed the park. Things of that nature killed
There's
the park.
other things that
We always had
took a
crime,
place in the park.
but things took a
these
place
other
in the park.
things.
We had less distractions.
Mama man.
Less distractions. Now there's more distractions. So now there's more distraction. The park doesn't matter as much. And now they're going to go train with somebody to learn. We learn through trial and error.
Right.
And there's no more better teacher than trial and error.
And you got that in the park.
And you got that in the park.
Because there's no more park.
Versus,
kids,
I told the kids this, they think this is a joke. He may not remember this. I don't care. That's fine. I'm going to say it anyway. We're playing in the park at Stubbs. And I'm younger than Muss and all that. Muss, those are the guys I'm cutting my teeth against. So I went baseline and I think almost like I dunked the ball. Muss literally still back. He might not know this. He might not know this, but he did. Like that. Now, today these kids would have went, called their mom. Oh my God, this dude in the park hit me, the jaw. Woo, woo, woo. I'm like, I'm younger than him, but in my mind, I got under his skin. I feel like I'm doing something. He can play. Like if I can get under his skin, I'm doing something.
You validate.
I didn't go home and call my mom. I just felt like I'm one of them.
You made an impact.
You
got his attention.
I got it right. I come back tomorrow. I can play with these dudes.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. They're better than me. They're older than me, but I can mix it up with them. I felt like the kids don't think like that no more. They don't see that playing against those older dudes is a rite of passage.
That was something on my mind. I'm gonna give it back to Coach Pitt. I guess you feel like that, but do you see it the same way that I see a lot of the younger ball players have skills, but it seems like they don't know the game or play the game as much as we did?
No.
Is it the same thing?
You're
Am I
right.
saying something wrong?
You're correct. That's what I'm saying. Is the trial and error of being out there, you learn. Like for instance, let's say you're a 16-year-old kid. You go to the court. There's a 30-year-old man, him and his boys out there. Number one, you're not going to handle the ball. You're not going to be the one. You're going to have very limited things what you're going to do on the court. But what you do on that court, you better be precise.
You're gonna have a divine role.
Right.
Your role
and
player.
if you don't do it, you don't stay on the court. Because they don't want that young boy out there anyway.
Fucking the game up.
You're messing the game
Yeah,
up.
you're fucking the
so
game up,
you're
young
going to
boy.
have to learn to play the way they play. You're going to have to learn, and you're going to have to deal with that physicality of those older dudes. It's a whole thing. They don't understand that mentally. It's not there. You know how much of the game that takes away from kids?
Another thing about talented kids is adults tend to become their fans instead of being like a leader and telling them how it's supposed to be done, rather than they just let them do what they want to do because they're talented right now.
And that's why I'm saying AAU has a lot to do with that, because kids now, in my experience, and what we've all seen, they don't like a situation, they just pack up and go.
Oh, yeah.
That happens.
Because it's opportunity everywhere, as opposed to before, there wasn't an opportunity to play everywhere. You couldn't just play everywhere.
No.
You know what I mean? You couldn't just pack up and there wasn't an AAU team next door.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could literally, a kid could leave your gym during practice and ride up the road and go to somebody else's practice and be on that team in the next day.
Yep.
So it creates this sense of, well, I don't have to. All I have to do is go to a place where I'm comfortable instead of learning how to deal with uncomfortable situations. You know what I mean?
There's no growth in
Yeah,
comfortability.
I'm gonna just go where I'm comfortable.
That's a fact.
You just keep learning the same thing you already know.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go where I'm comfortable. I'm gonna go where I'm comfortable.
That's a
You know what I mean? Who the best player you ever coached, man?
Ooh, hot seat, fireball.
The best.
Well, let me break. Let me give it to you in
While
tiers.
they were playing for.
That's
me,
what I want. While they were the kid that just who carried that
The
thing.
best player I coached while they were playing for me is Eric Kayali.
Shout out Easy E.
I heard he was part of the best backcourt in AAU basketball for a couple of summers, man.
He was.
But
A couple of them,
It was
though.
crazy because I had a conversation with SWAT, Jamal, and he said, nah, Fresh, these kids are more talented than us, but they can't beat us.
No.
He said they're way more talented than us, but they couldn't beat us.
No. And he's right. It goes back to that mentality that I'm talking about. Like, it's just, I believe we had, and I disagree with him when he said they were more talented. And because I look at it like this. You go to the state of Delaware today, you may have to go through 3 or 4 high schools before you find one guy, right? Back then, there were 2 or 3 of them on each team.
Yeah.
Shit, and 2 walking the hallways that don't even.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Don't even play
That's what I'm
basketball.
trying to tell you.
Everybody had a dude in
That's
school,
what I'm
2, 3
trying to
guys
tell
that didn't
you.
even play basketball.
There you go.
They barely came to school. You know what I
There
mean?
you go. But the difference is now these kids have more opportunities. We didn't have the opportunity. We had better talent. They got more opportunities. It's just that simple.
And better resources.
More
I'll say.
resources.
Better
way
resources.
more resources. Way more.
I would agree. I would agree that. I would probably agree that they're more talented. I would agree with that.
Shout out to Mus Curtis on check-in. He said talking shit, big dog.
I would agree that they're more talented from this standpoint, because it's almost like the NBA, the eras argument. You know what I mean? You have more talented players, but because a lot of them don't go through that grind that a lot of the older players went through, you don't have a lot of opportunities, so it creates a hunger. You know what I'm saying? The opportunities wasn't there, so everybody was hungry. Everybody. If it's food everywhere and everybody eats, who's hungry?
I think it's tough when you look at it that way, because the NBA is zeroed in on those group of people, right? When you start talking about a whole nation, right? That's different, because now it's a bigger sample size, and when you zero in on the NBA, you're just seeing those players.
Right.
Right, and when you're talking about the state, now let's talk again. We're talking about each and every team had a guy, at least a guy.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm talking about
Absolutely.
a dude that can do it.
Right.
Go look at a game now. If they're talented than us, have fun. Go look at those games now.
Is it that
When
bad?
You have.
Is it that bad, Rob?
I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all go.
The only reason I say that.
Defensive coach Rob Turner. I've seen his team. He got some pretty talented guys on his team.
On his team.
Got some pretty talented guys on his team.
Well, I mean, he kind of now, Rob. You got kind of like a good situation.
I seen a couple Salesian high school games.
School where I coach, we don't have a talent problem at all.
Right, so it's
don't.
kind of difficult.
Being humble, being
You got the
humble.
best of both worlds. You know what I mean? Where you kind of like you don't have that feeder system. Y'all can kind of pick and
There
choose
you
in
go.
both situations.
There you
You know what I mean?
It
But
wasn't always like that.
what I will say is though is that if there's anybody that I do know that has a ridiculous eye for talented kids, I'm gonna say it's Rob.
Absolutely.
After I got put on, I was like, yeah.
I'm gonna say it's Rob, and I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story because he introduced us to probably the best player we've ever coached, just from a raw talent standpoint. Rob said, "Yo, man, got this kid," and I had never. Now, mind you, after you go through a lot of these, tryouts and stuff like that, and you play in tournaments or whatever have you. You think you see everybody, but listen. But I'm gonna tell you what really. This is what really opened my eyes. Rob introduced us to Tavon White, right? And I thought I had seen everybody because at the time we had a blend of Wilmington kids and Chester kids at the time. So I'm thinking, okay, my team's pretty talented. We okay. We just got some raw talent. We just got cultivated. We was raw coaching and everything. Now, I bullshit you not. This motherfucker walked in the gym. He didn't play first. He just sat and looked at everything and was scoping the situation out. Because he wasn't playing for nobody. He wasn't interested in playing basketball at all. It was just literally on the strength of Rob that he said, all right, I'll come. We got lucky because not only that, we had a kid on the team that actually went to school with him at Talent. So that was kind of another kind of like string we could hold on to. When I tell you the first time I seen this motherfucker play in jeans, I said, well, god damn, what?
He was just an athlete.
How the fuck do you, like, who missed this one? And it made me think, like, well, god damn, it gotta be more like that. And that's when it opened my eyes to, like, trying to really scour, like, dude, these kids is out there. If this motherfucker is out here like this, and he immediately, and no disrespect to nobody that was on the team, this motherfucker immediately became the best player on the team and in the region. Immediately.
Good looking out.
Immediately.
People don't know he crushed
Immediately.
today dudes that are NBA players.
At that time, it was him and Damir.
Listen, and that was enough. Like it was him. It was like, where did this kid? His boy was well known at the time, Wade Meir. That was his run. That was his road dog. Now Wade Meir, of course, shout out to Wade Meir and that Delaware Hawks team. They was loaded. That team was loaded. That's Austin Tillman, Wade Meir, who's the other the two smaller guards?
Will something.
They had a couple guys. It was loaded. They was loaded. Lorenz Thurman. Yep, they was loaded. And so that was one that he found. You know what I mean? And the other one that he found, even more famous than that, at the time, this is the crazy part, and this is why I call him the plug. He called us and said, yo, listen, it's this kid that played for Salesiano. And they play out in the Route 40 joint. And he was talking to my man, so my man said, yo, man, let's go check out this kid. And Rob said he can go. So at that time, he was like, all right, well, Rob said he can go, I don't think this motherfucker can strike gold like this again. We go into the gym. First off, he's a white guy. All right?
Oh, come on, Rob. What you do this trip?
I mean, I wasn't.
And let the record reflect. I'm not gonna say no names. I I'm not going to trash you.
Send him another direction.
I'm not going to trash you
Names and
because
faces will be
you
the
one of ours.
definition.
Somebody said no first.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's not.
Go
Let the record reflect. We are one said no. Because now mind you, the guy who ended up with them, they said no to him first. We go in the gym. He's nice. He gets bitten smooth. He can do everything. This motherfucker took off one time, off of a swing, went baseline, 2 hands, missed the shit. I said, oh, whoa, time out. I looked at my man, I'm like, whoa, the fuck?
That's what we doing?
Okay. Late game situation. They down 1. They run a fucking out of bounds alley-oop play for this motherfucker. Man, this nigga came out of nowhere, 2 hands, missed it. I said, yo, we need that. Dante DiVincenzo.
Jeez.
How the fuck do you go 2 for 2 like that? Now, mind you, this was before the blow up. This was before the blow up. This was before anybody knew who that kid was going into his 10th grade year.
Played for the Newcastle Pal team.
Wow.
He went from Newcastle Pal. He was on the AU team. It just wasn't
Newcastle Pal.
on level. It was levels to this. Yeah, he was on the AU team.
I know that ain't I played in the Newcastle. I know that ain't I played in that.
Yeah. So,
He showed.
but I'm saying when you go down the names that this man then cultivated, and that, you know, the Eric Ayalas, that's from Maryland. I mean, we talking Division 1. He said, yo, Stampy, go get him. The dude that next summer, put it this way, coming out of that 9th grade year, going into the 10th grade year, that summer, exploded. 14 offers that summer.
Just needed to be seen.
14 offers coming off of that summer.
You the one died.
Nah, see what that say on his shirt? He was just a kid from Delaware. A white kid at that.
So humble.
White kid at that. And Rob found him. Thanks, UR1. Appreciate that.
Some would say he's the Michael Jordan of Wilmington, Delaware.
As far as impact, I
I
agree
mean,
with that. It's gonna hurt some people's
in
feelings.
we are one's defense.
It's gonna hurt some people's feelings.
In our defense, we did beat them.
You had a gunship. Y'all had a gunship.
We did drop them off that year. It would have been nice to have him with us though.
Y'all had a gunship that
I
year.
definitely wanted him.
Let me back up a little bit, because him not going there created an opportunity for him.
Absolutely.
And-
It worked out the way it was supposed to work.
Yeah,
Let's just say it like
and he
that.
put it this way. That game you talking about, where was that? That was up competitive edge?
Competitive edge.
Okay. That was let the record reflect. They just got off the plane too.
We set it up.
They just got off the plane. They just got
We set him up.
Now hold on. No. Now let me. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100. At that time, I do think that, regardless of the situation, I just think that they wanted it more than they did. I don't think
We
it
have
was a
been trying to
situation.
find them the whole
Yeah, I don't
summer.
think.
A bad man named Tyler Cole.
Yeah, I don't think that it was anything that, you know. They had a gunship though. At that point in time, both teams was absolutely loaded. I mean, loaded.
That's when you had Body and Trey and Eric.
Nah, that was before them. This was Derek Jones.
Derek Jones.
What was my man
Why
name from
they was
Jersey?
on the team though.
What was little man from Livingston? Livingston.
Otis Livingston.
Otis. Shout out to Otis Livingston, man. Goddamn terror. Who else, man?
A platform. What's his name?
A bad man named Tyler Cole.
Tyler Cole.
Yeah,
the best
Tyler
player-
Cole.
In my opinion, the best player I ever played in our program.
Tyler Cole?
Ever.
For those that was at Perkiomen. Played at Perkiomen High School,
He
right?
went to Trenton Catholic. Then he went somewhere. He went to a few schools.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, he was one of them weird hybrid Charles Barkley type
Oh yeah,
niggas.
he was a
Yeah, he was a lot to handle, man. A lot to handle. But like I said, those are two big examples, man, that stuck out in my mind at this man's eye for talent, man. And like throughout the years, you know, you see he identifies these guys, man, and I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves in terms of being able to identify talent, man. Just like pure talent, like that guy. And even guys that he hasn't had, he's basically said, yo, he can watch that one, he can go.
I go find them. I bring them over in the gym together and put them against each other. And if you stand out amongst that crowd, I know you got it.
Is it any one thing you're looking for, or is just?
I mean, a lot of kids have talent, but it's like you put a pack of wolves and some steak. Which one of y'all gonna come out with the steak?
Okay.
That's the one.
Prove it, Graham. Prove it. Graham gave you school. I heard that.
It's a kid right
Somebody got to win.
It's a kid right now. I don't want to put no pressure on him, but he going into the 8th grade, and I put him in that predicament, and more than once. And every single time, he was the best man in the gym amongst the top 7th, 8th graders that.
Who should we be looking out for right now? Who we looking out for?
No pressure.
What do you mean by that?
Who we looking out for? Hey man, come on, plug, give me one.
Talent.
Give me one, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Listen, I'm only going, and I'm gonna put it in, I'm gonna give you some context because we've already talked about the issues with Delaware basketball, right? Later on, we're gonna try to fix them. Because I think it can be fixed. And I have an idea. I think it could be fixed. Or I think the proper things should be put in place. But that's a little later. It's early. Who do we need? Because he just said you got to go to 5. I don't got time to go to 5 schools. I need to know where I'm going this year to see who I'm hooping. To see who's hooping. Where am I going this year?
So high school teams, players, Middletown definitely has on paper a title contender, most talented team from like 1 through 8.
They just got another transfer to the boy from Dover.
I've been coaching him since he was in 6th grade. He's awesome.
Really?
He's awesome.
Mere height. He's
Okay.
He's about 5'9", but he play like he's 6'5".
Okay.
Middletown definitely has talent.
What if I don't feel like going all the way down there? Well, I'm not that far, but
Individual player, I don't know if his team is that strong, but he could easily be player of the year. Tower Hill has a kid named Dean Shepard.
well, when Tower Hill just in the
They won it.
they won it, right? I was going to say shit.
Hey,
And they won it, and he coming back.
Well, they lost a lot of the core, but
A lot of people-
Well, you saying to watch? I mean, that smelled like the Carmen Wild situation.
This kid is built different than probably every
Where's he from?
Newcastle.
Okay.
So Asiano has a strong team. Talking about. Seaford has an exciting team. I don't necessarily know.
I don't know if they're going to be cursed.
how well they're gonna gel together, but they have some talent. Dover, if you like a tough, mean group, like they got that.
Gritty ball.
No disrespect to Dover.
If they can beat you by 50, they're gonna do it.
No disrespect to Dover, but I want to. Where's our kids at?
Where's our kids going?
Wilmington. Where's our kids at?
Wilmington basketball is not how we remember.
Howard.
Howard has
Yeah.
talent,
They'll be around.
but they don't have Wilmington kids.
They don't.
What kids they got?
That was the last quarter. That was the second
Really?
last game that I watched. I went to the bar.
The Shields. They all live by me.
Howard's starting 5. I mean, I don't know who's going to start, but I don't think it's going to be one Wilmington kid.
The Twins don't live in town.
Let me ask this about:
I remember what I said.
has Wilmington basketball fell off?
Yes, that's an easy yes.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'll put it this way. I think the last good run that I saw.
Player in Wilmington is a kid that's going into 9th grade and he's coming to South.
How convenient. How convenient. I think the last good run that I saw where I actually felt like I could go to a lot of basketball games might have been like the mid 2000s, if I'm not mistaken.
Mount Pleasant has a decent Wilmington kid, though.
Mount Pleasant?
One, I don't know how many of them are actually from Wilmington, but I know this one kid is from Wilmington, and not a lot of people know about him. His name is Anthony Sidbury, and if he plays to his ability, he can be a very good player.
Will Mount Pleasant have the environment for that, or is that a situation where he might be on the move?
He's gonna be a senior.
Oh, well, damn. He's stuck.
Stuck.
All right, young man, do your thing, man. Do your thing, young man.
I remember our brother to the show, man, Corey Curtis. He said, "Man, it pains my heart. It hurts me to know that the kids from Wilmington ain't playing basketball."
And that's another thing.
Like I said, it's not their fault. It's the environment's fault. We come from an environment where that's what it was. People that sold drugs hooped. People that was actually in a gang hooped. You could have been the worst dude in Wilmington. You played in that classic. Everybody played. Now, if they're in the street, they're in the street.
Yeah.
That's it. There is no splitting time. It's, I'm in the street, period. You know, so it's because of this.
I can't think of like a high level player that goes to a public school or is from Wilmington that goes to a private school.
And that part, that was sort of kind of what I was speaking to with you about. But he was telling me, nah, the Exodus, it's not even the Exodus. It's if you have a good player that's from the Wilmington area, it's not even enough competition for him to really keep sharpening his steel.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
We have
if
a
you're
kid.
good here, we don't even really know if you're good until you go somewhere
We have a
else.
top 25 player right now, point guard. Rob Wright, the third. His father was a police officer. Numa Goretti, storied program in Philadelphia.
Right.
He's the lead guard on that team. So should he stay here?
Nah.
He'll probably win Catholic League Player of the Year next year, right?
Before I talk to you, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably win Catholic League Player of the Year next year.
That's what I'm saying. Before I talk to you, before you rung me up that morning, I was like, yeah, this is stay here. After I talk to you, go to Bishop Newman. You're ready.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
They got another
They got a
Delaware.
couple kids. They got two kids from Delaware.
Robert Wright has a younger brother that's also
Younger brother that's coming in. That's good.
That's very, very good.
Yeah.
If he's
Shout out to
playing
my
in
baby
Delaware,
guy. He was schooling me on that Catholic league up Philly. He said they got the he said that, if I'm mistaken, he said the best point guard in Delaware plays for Bishop Goretti. He said
Bingo.
he was like, nah, French. He said there's people be over at center all the time. He said, nah, they come get him.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
said, I'm not. Well, this was some years. This was
And
maybe
that
a year
okay.
ago.
Also, remember, so even when you was doing it, when did you see New York come down here for our kids?
Never.
New York
Never.
kept their kids there. They didn't come here. They are active.
Yeah.
New York is actively.
That's different.
Well,
That's
it's pretty much from all sides now.
Yeah, but the talent level it's dropped, not just here. It's a national drop. So New York got to come down here. Virginia trying to come up here. They're all coming up here. You got to remember, they're not stupid. They're going, damn, these dudes got Bones Island and Eric Island. They're watching that. So they're going, what the hell's going on down there? So they're going to come and weasel in and see what's happening. Because these dudes are killing them at a tournament.
Because if you think about it, they didn't have the opportunity up until AAU.
Yeah. But it's again,
AAU was, before AAU was a mystery.
But even with AAU, their talent level was enough where they didn't need to go digging.
There is one Wilmington kid in middle school that has a very, very good chance to be very, very good though. His name is Kendall Riley Garlic. He's going into the 7th grade and he can start varsity at most places.
What's the vitals on him? What's his vitals? Well, how big is he?
It's not like it related to Vince.
Right now, at the 6th grade, he's probably 6'1" right point.
Vince is
Okay.
pop He
Okay.
said garlic.
No, his dad is the same name, Kendall Riley.
Okay.
Okay.
I heard the garlic in there, so he related to Vince.
Tell me about the AAU grind, man, because you guys have been extremely successful, man, on that level too. Not just
Yes.
winning that national championship, grassroots, in terms of just middle school.
Well, That was him again. We're gonna give him his props. So that little story they told earlier about them coming to get our kids, that was DC Assault. So DC Assault was, one of the greatest programs in the history of the AA period.
Absolutely.
So they're coming to get our kids. So now we're like, okay, what do we do?
We're doing something right. But
What do we got to do something?
How do you fight that
We got to
monster?
cover our back. So he said, I know a guy in Middletown. You need to go meet him. His name is Terrell Myers, and he's a coach out there at St. Andrews in Middletown. So we went out there, sat down with him. Come to find out that he had a Under Armour deal. People in Delaware didn't even really know about it. Rob knew. Like I said, Rob is entrenched in a lot of that stuff. So Rob knew. Now we went up, sat, told me, I'm just the way I am. And Rob's like, yeah, we gotta do this. And I'm like, man, I don't trust this dude. And Kivas was the same way. Kivas was like, man, I don't trust this dude. And that's where we kind of separated, because at that point, Kivas was like, because again, it was pure. What we had was
Right.
pure. And I think Kivas,
I remember them days. It's
yeah,
very pure.
and I think Kivas was just like, yo, we can do it. We can do it on our own. But Kivas was working, and he didn't see.
He had a blind spot.
He didn't see that part. Like they're coming to get our kids, bro. Like we can't stop this. These dudes got some things that can help us shield us from that.
Because they had their deal
Way back.
very early.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
They had a deal early. Yeah,
Early, yeah,
they had a
so-
deal early because they had that gunship team
Yeah.
at that time
Yeah.
with Cowan
Yeah.
and all them kids, Gardner and all
AJ
them.
English.
Yeah, they had a gunship.
Yeah, so what we did was, we literally created their middle school program. We were their middle school program. They didn't have one. That's not something they put their money into. We really wasn't so much about the money from them. It was just the name,
The coverage.
and the coverage and the prestige to tell the children, well, look, you play with us. You're on Under Armour,
And that matters.
we're
That matters.
sponsored.
That matters,
Things of that
man.
nature. So he linked us up with them, and the rest is history.
Especially at that time, because at that time, man, like you said, kids getting torn all over the place, man. Like you said, you may go to practice, man, 3 of your kids not there. You know what I mean? And you still fighting the good fight. You know what I mean? With that fundraiser money, man, and you know what I mean. But you ain't.
3-on-3 tonight.
Yeah, you fighting. Listen, man. That's a hell of a battle. And my own testimony to it is that we didn't feel the effects of it until Nike made that move with Final, and they're in our back door, they're in our backyard. They're in our backyard. And then we got the wake-up call when, we was calling the kid, probably our biggest kid, and all of a sudden he stopped calling, and we got the inside word, hey, such and such showed up at practice. Because what they didn't know was we had it in on that side too. One of our kids went to school with one of their kids. And then the next day in school, they talked and such and such came to practice. So we got the word like, oh, okay. But it took a while to find, who the guy was that was, that they sent out as the pro. But yeah, it was that particular time, it was filthy, man. It was like a fucking, man, it was bad. It was bad at that time.
Did that affect how y'all felt about coaching? When that story, when all that came in?
It started turning into like a beef.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. He's absolutely correct.
It really like to the point where you wanted to fight people.
Yeah, he's correct. When I got into it, at that next level, when we linked up with the, they were called, before they were WR1, they were East Coast Elite.
Right.
And there's Terrell, and then there's Ron Martin, what he said he met at the very beginning, which was the Panthers. And they merged together and created We Are One. But it was ECE at that time. When I first got into it, I'm from a place where if it's on go, it's on go. So you telling me we're a crew, we're together. If they bother you, they're bothering me. That's the way I looked at it. I didn't know anything about any business. I was wrong. In hindsight, I was wrong. But at that moment, if they say something to you, I'm going wherever y'all at. I got stories. I done drove. I'm in your backyard. Yo, what's up? You said you wanted to. What's up?
It's sides, man.
That's
Made
how
you pick sides, man.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I actually We Are One and Delaware Royalty probably, and the Rebels.
Yep.
Y'all probably was my introduction back into it. I didn't know this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, was y'all beefing as well? I mean, because I know you was a coach. I mean,
I would say beef. I would say that there was some, because of course
We weren't beefing.
You got the programs.
It'll be like, okay, so
the programs definitely.
So the Rebels,
absolutely.
So the Rebels were kind of like a brother program.
okay, got it.
So what happens is now,
Before the whole sneaker thing.
right? So now we link up with this sneaker company. They now create a relationship with another sneaker company, and at the end of the day, it just turns. Now we're from the east side, so we're always going to be good regardless.
Right.
But it's a small thing there.
God.
You know, it's just a small
Because
thing.
they're in competition now. Because at the center of it all is kids.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
right.
At the center of it all is kids, and money is driving the situation to acquire
I
kids.
assume some adults lose focus of that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Absolutely.
All the
It's-
time.
Listen, it can sour you.
Yes.
It can sour you because, like you said, when you came into it like they came into it, and we came in mom and pop. It's pure. You don't have any external forces that you worried about, because everybody pretty much, you might have a fight for one kid just off of proximity. Just like I remember how we got one of our kids. He lived over east side and was playing on a Philly team. I said, no way in hell. I rode down the street one day and saw the kid. I was like, whoa, time out.
Oh, look, cousin, what
You live over here?
What you doing?
Oh, nah. I mean, you may have something like that, but when you're talking about now, you got sneaker companies involved. Man, that reaches.
Yeah,
That's a
different
long.
language.
Yeah, that's a different reach, man. That's a different reach in terms of now what you're talking about is that's breeding a little more opportunity. You know what I'm saying? If they're not swallowing up a team, it's a team that's moving in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you got more opportunity, and then that just breeded. It was a cesspool.
I mean,
It was a cesspool, man.
I
I don't want to sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm only looking at it from, I mean, not saying only looking at it from, but I was looking at it from the perspective of, I'm like, okay, well, as successful as you guys were, I was asking the question, I was like, okay, well, they must have had some kind of beef, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, even if you didn't have any type of recruiting things, it's like, we just met y'all because y'all successful. But that's how they hate on it.
Nah, but both programs was extremely successful.
It's all kind of things. I mean, it's internal things. It's external things.
People mad at us because our uniforms look nice.
Yeah.
It was weird.
All kind of stuff. Yeah, you know. I mean, it's to the
And you know, I don't know why I thought that was out of the way. I'm like, man, they was mad at Eastside for having candy cane uniforms. I guess that's still going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A coach would tell a kid, man, you know, like, look, man, playing with that, come on, man.
he a clown.
Playing with that.
That's, I mean, not to say it like that, because I know, you know.
It's a lot of angles that you can come at a kid with.
But I'm saying, like, they like, you got that trash on your feet, so I come at you with that.
Kids love shoes, man. Kids love shoes and
You
gear.
know, and we're talking about, and forget that. And see, this is where I have a lot of my issue with certain dudes. Forget the sneakers. We got dudes that will belittle themselves and come down from being a man and turn their self into a boy and have child rhetoric with them and you know, talk about things they ain't got no business talking to them about just to gain a relationship with them. And now that's going to create a relationship versus the man versus the child mentor relationship. I don't know how to come off of that.
I'm only going to come from a certain.
I only got but one angle.
Right.
I ain't got but one, you know?
I'm a certain age.
And that's
certain perspective. I'm not coming off Nintendo style.
it. No.
Yeah, it's definitely some
that.
things. It's definitely some things, man. But at the end of the day, man, 2-time Under Armour champions.
If we were being, so before it was the Under Armour, there was a tournament called NY to LA.
Okay.
Now, we were in middle school when it was that. We were at the middle school level. So Terrell and them had that team, and they were 16s. So they won that. And then the inaugural UAA circuit, they won that one. It was the first one.
Okay.
Then the year after that, they went to the Final Four and lost. Then the year after that, they won it. Year after that, they won it again.
Okay.
Back to back.
Year
Well, not
after,
back to back. Well,
Okay, I'm sorry.
3 straight Final Fours, right?
no, back to back.
They did win it back to back. Okay.
Won it back to back.
That's Trayvon and them. Trayvon and them won it.
Eric
Eric got 2.
Yeah.
Trayvon and Eric, and then Eric and Bones.
Yeah, no.
Nah, the bone.
Eric.
Nah, Bones probably a little later.
Then what happened?
No, he's kind of on the tail end of
just
them.
got drafted.
Tyrese Smart.
Tyrese Smart.
And the Hawks just drafted him.
Eric and Tyrese Smart. got-
Oh, Eric. It was Eric. Okay, Eric. I thought for some reason I thought Bones was on that
So
team.
then after that,
Isaiah was on that team, right?
Wong was on that team. Yes.
Was he? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So then the year after that, Bones should have been on that team when we got to the championship. That's when Bones got injured.
Right. Okay.
So
Okay.
then we got to the chip, lost to Premier in the chip in Vegas, and then there was we were down here. COVID came, and then we're back. We were in the Final Four just now.
Check how humble this dude is. He forgot to mention that he led a team to the finals in 15.
Oh yeah.
See,
That's
the-
success.
That's the humble.
That's success, though, man. But like I said,
Think about some shit, huh?
a lot of people don't know that, though. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean? That level of, and we're not okay. So let's be clear for those that don't know. We're only talking the circuits that matter. We're only talking 3 circuits, right? We're only talking 3 circuits that matter.
Yeah.
We're talking Under Armour circuit. We got Adidas and we got Nike. You know what I mean? We're only talking 3 circuits. You know, whereas before it was kind of like the Wild Wild West. Now everything's funneled into, you know, shoe companies came in and just separated everything. So we're only talking 3 circuits, really. You know what I mean? Adidas, not so much, but they got some stroke a little bit. But we're only talking, you know, 2, and then we got Adidas for the most part.
Sonny can pull a string.
So what we talking is, it sounds like 4 or 5 Final Fours.
Man,
Something like that. Yeah.
if my math is correct, it sounds like more than 4 or 5 fours. If my math is
Yeah,
correct.
it should have been 4 championships. The NY to MLA is 1, and then we have the one after that, then the back-to-back. So it should have been 4 championships and like 5.
So the level of success right here we talking, man, is not rinky dink. We talking a top circuit where we talking champions here. So we got a national championship on the grammar school, I would say, level, and we talking part of multiple national championships on a high school level, man. That's big. That's huge, man. That's huge.
And I actually want to say, coming from Delaware, coming from where we from, it has been under publicized. It has been under recognized. When you go national, I've been a part of like traveling teams and stuff like that for baseball and stuff like that. Even if you make it to tournaments, people get parades back in Arizona. You just made it to the national tournament in Arizona, you get a parade. Y'all have won championship upon championship upon championship upon championship, and we're like, this is the top you can get in this age group field or whatever. Can we get more than just a correction in the sports page? Can we get some motherfucking, I'm talking about real motherfucking recognition. I'm talking about send these brothers plaques, trophies this motherfucking high. Money, if you will. But the recognition needs to be fucking bestowed upon Rob the Club Turner, D-Nail. We live in a motherfucking Final Four, bro. It needs to be there. Because the funny thing is, they've been doing what other states and counties and municipalities been doing across the country with so much less support, so much less resources, so much less understanding of what the fuck they really doing, have done, and will continue to do in the future.
This is a program out of Delaware too, man.
Yeah.
This is what the fuck I'm saying.
And be clear, like I said, I want to give them their props because a lot of people don't know them. I've been trying to get them to come out of the darkness, but people won't tell us. So it's ran by a gentleman named Ron Martin, an older gentleman that used to work at AstraZeneca.
Shout out to Ashton.
I mean, we're talking about a man who it makes you emotional sometimes when you think of all the children this man has helped. And he don't ask for nothing. He don't come out of the darkness. He stays in the darkness. And that's why I stayed. That's why I stayed. You know, people be like, I've had guys, yo, won't you come to Nike? Won't you come be with this group? Won't you come be with that group? And it's like, why? Like, I'm seeing a person not help, forget the basketball. I'm talking about an individual that's coming through helping lives, saving lives. Like, so Delaware, like, really don't understand. We got a group of people here in this organization that's like making some serious change around here.
And once again,
and the state really not taking,
once again,
not looking at it.
This is a national program, probably the premier program on that circuit when it comes to high school basketball. Since that circuit opened,
It's real.
they're the Lakers of the Under Armour circuit. I mean,
motherfuckers survive with we are one, and you're looking at.
well, we got to start there. We got to start there because
in
that.
all actuality, We Are One is probably the prominent program in the northeastern of the country, regardless of
You know what? I'm gonna take the probably out of it.
I'm gonna give you.
Being humble, we gonna say they are the prominent.
Because I think I noticed a program up there in Northeast, and I'm saying correct me if I'm wrong.
There's one program that got more NBA players, but
Well, I'm talking championships and I'm talking
like-
that kind of success. That's a different discussion. You know what I mean?
Like,
Because that's more of a popularity.
what I see, you know what I mean, just from watching from afar, you know what I mean, I really ain't into the games. But if it ain't team final or We Are One in their circuit, everybody else is just a happen-go-lucky if they happen to have a guy.
I would say this.
They-
I would say this.
They not producing the constant like We Are One or the team final. I know our team final they go get whoever they go. They go.
I'm gonna say relative to their circuits. I would say they're probably. Well, no, there's not probably. They're definitely more successful on their circuit. They would be the Lakers of the Under Armour circuit, whereas final wouldn't be the Lakers of the Under Armour. Lakers or Boston. You know, they would be more or less a typical team
And let
because
the record
yeah,
reflect-
they're not. I wouldn't say that. I would say
reflect we had the Nike deal.
so. They're not.
we had a Nike deal. It was signed.
Shout out to Kevin
It
Blanks
was- it
and
was-
Under Armour.
it was
That's
signed.
Kevin Blanks.
And then sadly, you know, a couple of years ago there was a FBI investigation, and that came into the AAU ranks, and a lot of stuff got cut. But we had one
So this was as recent as
2 or 3 years ago. Had it.
I would have loved to see that.
I would love to see it too. Actually, Bones' group would have been the first team on it.
Wow.
Bones,
Straight out of
Wong-
Delaware.
Bones, Bones, Wong, Eric Dixon, the big fella at Georgetown,
Okay.
Quadis Wahab.
Wow.
We would have had that group would have been the first group on Nike, but that the FBI.
I'm not gonna lie, man. It fucking amazes me. I've never met Bones Highland. I've never met Dante DiVincenzo. It fucking amazes me. And Eric Ayala, Isaac Wang, Zilla. I've never met any of these motherfucking people.
He was telling me about him before I even knew who he was.
I
I said, "Are you a Chinese kid?"
The two
Like Chinese
motherfucking people, the two people who put me like on their radar was y'all two. But y'all cultivated, procured that fucking talent. I'm like, that's not fucking small, dog. It's NBA players, real live D1 motherfucking destroyers out there. These men have not just made them good, put confidence in them, showed them things and different things. I'm like, that's not fucking small. These two gentlemen right here, and with Keith, they have seen, procured, wrangled, took forward, and succeeded with talent out of Delaware and the surrounding areas. They have not gotten nowhere near the motherfucking support, love, or honor that they deserve. And I'm saying, I caught on late. I'm like, y'all knew all these motherfuckers? Yeah, I coached them from here to here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, if I really think about it, I don't
people in basketball, especially in more recent times, than y'all two.
There's only one,
Y'all
there's
be
only
hating
one way to
on
influence
the
now, and that's through
NBA.
AAU.
Why is that not more saluted? I ain't asking y'all, because y'all just got your head down doing the work. I'm asking our motherfucking audience. Why the fuck we saluting these guys on the highest of highs? What are we doing wrong? All they do is bring home chicks and live in the Final Four and eyeball talent that we can never even see in the NBA playing right now. What the fuck are we doing wrong, y'all? What the fuck are we doing wrong?
I want to talk about it, man. We gotta fix it.
Fix
Can't bear it. Because I'll preface it by saying this. We had a discussion, weeks ago in terms of, and I'm gonna draw a parallel. We'll just walk with me. Gun reform and registry and crazy guy in the neighborhood, right? We can say, oh man, it can't be fixed, and put your head in the sand. You know what I mean? Now, we got to do something. We got to do something because the talent is here, right? It's talent, right?
That's talent.
It's talent, right? Okay, so if it's talent, early identification is the key, right?
Yeah.
How do we early identify? We got something in place right now, and you connected with the man.
I'll say this. So we'll take the young gentleman that's down at the 76er Stadium, Martin Mason. So he has a league. Drew has.
And that's where I'm going.
Drew has a league.
Let's start there.
So we have.
Probably a cool shoes.
Yeah, so we have a few people that are actually doing leagues for the kids, that are doing certain things. But even though they have these leagues, I still feel like without that rite of passage between the adult and the child, a grown man and a child, it's never going to change. Rite of passage means exactly what it means. We cannot manufacture that feeling.
Okay.
It's impossible to manufacture that feeling. There's a rite of passage that you dealt with, I dealt with. There was a grown man that Nate T. Watson trashed me every week. I didn't want to play basketball until I was 14. So 15 to 18, the classic was 15 to 18. They said, yo, you tall. Go to the classic. All right. I played basketball for 3 months. I go into the league, get drafted on 15 to 18 at 14 years old. First game, who I got to stick? Lenny Brown.
Good luck with that.
I'm getting dunked on, embarrassed. The crowd is laughing at me. They're making jokes out of me. I live down the street. I don't know what's going on. I live down the street. I'm getting embarrassed in here. Right? So
Baptism by fire.
I'm getting baptized. So when I go outside, Tyson Waterman is on my team. Now Tyson Waterman is reaming me out. Lex Nichols is the coach.
Oh, man.
I'm getting reamed out, but Lex Nichols defended me. Yo, he a young boy, Mike. Yo, leave him alone. He cussed me out. I'm crying. Right? After that, I didn't want to do nothing else. I went over Northside and played ball. I played every single day, and I made it my business. I said, I want to be drafted on Tyson Waterman's team. I don't want nothing. If you don't put me on his team, I'm not playing. And that next year, I was ready. But it didn't happen unless I got trashed by them old. Lenny is an animal. Like, you got to be able to deal with that. Like, that mentality that he come with, kids don't see that type of intensity from an older dude. He didn't go, he's a young boy, let me hold off on him. No, he let me have it. You know what I'm saying? And I had to deal with that. Now, if you do that to a child,
Shout out
they'll
to
say,
L, friend of the show, man. L was about that time, bro.
Now L, friend of the show. They fan to the show, man.
So let me ask you a
But
question.
you don't know yet.
So check this
I
out.
think I'm gonna remember that game.
So you said we can't manufacture, so why not make it authentic, right? We got the Silk League, right? You got Lamar's League, right? What age groups are both of those?
Silk is middle school and Lamar's high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Duffy's Hope.
So
Duffy's hope. Yeah.
okay, but let's, because by that time we've identified that we gotta identify and cultivate, right?
Got you.
So at that age, we talking the Droop League, the young guy. We talking young, middle school, elementary school. I'm thinking elementary age. So if you got a league that's got elementary and middle school, can it be closed door sessions where there is no league or whatever? We just playing, and you the older guys grinding up the younger guys to create that environment.
You probably could, but it's
What's the obstacles?
Again, so okay, let's just look at it like this. You remember growing up, bye mom, I'm gonna go outside, bye mom.
Okay.
You went outside, you went from this side, you walked from this side of town to that side of town, you hung out with your friend, and you might didn't come, now your mom might say, you better been here for the sun go down. But that whole time, you navigated this whole thing.
You may have been around half the city.
On your own. Right. There was no parent. There was no, you could have been in God knows what, you was learning about life.
Okay.
Now these kids are with their mom and dad the whole time. They're not, it's the moms and parents, they're helicopter parents. They're oh, my son feels like this. My son is sad. My son don't like that you yelled at him. My son don't like this. My son don't like that.
Yeah.
Why would you talk to my son like this? Okay. You're not allowed to say that to my son. It's a different environment.
So can we do this? All right. So can we do this?
And matter of fact, before we go any further, I want to shout out one of the great parents, Frank Barris. No. I want to shout out one of the great parents, Frank Barris. Names and faces of people held to protect the innocent, but she is a huge fan of her
baby boy.
Of her baby boy, but not just her baby boy. Everything that her baby boy is around and touches. And I don't think she's a helicopter. I just think she's a huge fan. I think
right.
we were talking about,
but she comes from that era. He went outside.
Yeah. But you can't get one without the other. No. Sort of kind.
So let's fix it. Can there be an environment?
Man, love you, Brown.
Can there be?
I have an example.
Please.
I host an open gym for middle school age groups, and in the invitation it says no parents allowed. Some parents who has talented kids,
I want to
did
stop
not
you again.
allow their children to
I
come.
want to stop
They
you.
weren't allowed to be there.
What's that phrase again?
What, no parents allowed?
Yeah.
Tell them why that's important.
I just don't want the distraction. I want the kids to be able to go out there and decide how this is going to go.
Yeah.
And some parents, they either weren't, I don't know what it was. To me, it's basketball.
Right?
Have you had that discussion with the parents to make them
I don't
feel
know
more
people.
comfortable?
I don't know.
Okay.
But they didn't know me too. So
But that's
could
a
be
thing. See? Even
It's
though
a
you don't-
barrier, but it's not a.
But it's a thing. If they're doing it, how many other people are doing it? It's at a global scale. It's a national thing. It's
But I
not-
don't want. Let's.
I'm just saying.
The barrier is the helicopter parent. I mean, because I wish my kids played sports so I could just show up and just root for them. But how bad is it? Have you guys have seen it?
Oh, it's a,
Oh no! Don't come on to pick Johnny.
It's on a whole nother level now. Whole nother level.
How you
My mom and father combined have been to 4 games in my life. 4.
I feel you on that.
College, 4 games.
My mom lied and said she went to some basketball. I said, you ain't never come to no basketball
Right.
games, Mom.
Now, they provided. They were doing what they needed to do.
Right,
We
right.
weren't mad because they couldn't go to no game. Me and my brother had everything we needed. They didn't come to no games. I didn't come home and say, Coach Lee yelled at me. Lex Nichols cussed me out. I didn't say one word. Because you know what? I knew they loved me. These was grown men who loved me. Sometimes they were a little stern. Sometimes they said some things I didn't want to hear. But those were my father figures. That's the way they talked to me. I didn't go home and go tell my mom and dad they were talking to me like that. Now, you talk to a child like that now, you won't get a phone call.
Now let me ask you a question. What is that phone call coming because you don't have a relationship with the parents or the parents?
You can have a relationship all you want. Eventually, there's always that spot where they feel like you shouldn't say X, Y, and Z to their child. They need to be able to go, okay, I know you're doing this with the best of intentions and you care about my child. But for the most part, it's always going to be.
So you can't coach kids hard. So you
There
so
you
you
go.
gotta there's no more hard coaching the kids?
Very few. Some kids, yes. If you're Isaiah Wong. And Isaiah Wong's a little different. He's a little different because he just doesn't have any emotion. He doesn't talk. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't say nothing. You can yell at him till it doesn't matter. But that's just, some kids are like that.
How hard is the balance to manage these things?
The balance is
Stern and I gotta love them up. Because it seemed like maybe when you.
the emotional.
Well, let me ask.
It depends on how
every kid's
long
different,
you've been
you know?
around a particular child. Like
Yeah.
the kids that I coach right now, some of them are brand new, and some of them I have since they was in 6th grade, and they about to be seniors.
Okay, got you.
So what I'm saying is that same
But
environment.
before you keep going, would you call yourself stern?
I'm not generally
That's
stern.
my point.
I can be.
That's my point. I mean, he is a even keel guy. He might get a little. Come on, y'all. Like it don't get to the point where I'm tearing you down. That's just not his way.
Right.
See what I'm saying? I'm
Like,
talking about.
say for example, I'll tell my point guard, we gonna win or lose based on how you perform. Like that's stern to me. That's pressure.
Right.
Like what are you gonna do to make us be successful?
That's not.
This is all.
Man, you look like a bum. What are you doing? You suck right
Is
now.
that you?
Absolutely.
You know what I noticed though?
Absolutely.
Y'all both kind of said the same thing.
Yes, it's a different way.
Because you
It's
tell
all
me, hey
delivery.
man, I'm putting the ball in your hands, you on the mound tonight, I need you to go 7 innings.
Yeah.
That's pressure.
I had a kid the other day.
You didn't holler or cuss enough in that. You're just like, I'm putting the ball in your hands. We're only going to go as far or be as good as you
I had a
are.
kid the other day. We're in Chicago. It's on the bench. So we're down to a team from where were they from? They were from like Louisiana. I think we're from Louisiana. I think they were. Something I forgot. So we're down. He misses like 2 or 3 defensive assignments, 2 or 3 box outs. Just misses them, but he want to shoot. So we sub him out. He sits next to him. He goes, "Man, what am I doing on the bench, man? I got to get back in this game. I got to get back." Yip. I said, "Yo, if we put you back in the game, you gonna be a bum? You gonna do some bum stuff? Watch. I'm gonna get you, put you back in the game. Watch you do some bum stuff. Put him back in the game. Bum stuff. Trash stuff. The point is, you asked to get put back in the game. You said you was going to produce. You don't tell no coach, put me back in the game if you not going to produce. Because as I told the parent, basketball is a microcosm of their life. Your job gets a job. The job says you have to do. If they don't do those things, what are they going to do to your child? Fire them. I'm just putting your child on the bench. They're going to fire your
He
son.
won't even have a spot.
He won't have a
in real
job.
life. If it's not AAU basketball, he would have been fired, going down to unemployment.
He's going to get
Not
fired.
looking good for him.
$600 a month.
He's not doing his job.
He's not doing his job. It's that simple. I don't hate you. When the game's over, we're going to play. I'm going to joke with you. Hey, I love you, man. You my boy. But during the heat of battle, if you don't do the job, you hurt everybody else.
I want to ask your coaches something. Is there anything you ever want to say to some parents of some players that you was coaching? Please let it off. Right? You know names and faces.
No,
people
no,
have-
no. Ain't doing no names.
We said no names and faces. But was there anything you ever wanted to say?
We did have one parent in the past that one of us would actually yell across the court during the game, "Shut the fuck up."
Was that kid any good?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
That kid was good?
very good, but the father was horrible.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. And name. It's just funny.
And if it's who I think he's talking about, I watched the pop get punched in the face on the sideline.
Yeah, I think it's what you're talking about.
But his son eventually graduated, got a Division I scholarship, and now he's playing college.
Hey, man, you know what? At the end of the day, you can lose a few battles, but you better win that war and get your motherfucking scholarship.
Have you literally turned a kid down because you know what? The parent reputation.
There's a saying a coach once told me years ago. He said, as long as the kid is better than he is crazy. If he's better than he is
If
crazy,
the kid is better than the parent is crazy.
yes, he has to be worth the issue. If the child is good enough to be worth that issue, then so be it. But if your child is a scrub, why are we dealing
Right, with the parent.
with your mess?
You or the parent.
And
both of them.
not to mention, we might be that bridge between you and the parent to help the kid. Who knows what that kid is going through on his own with the parent?
Right.
We may be that bridge between you and the parent. So,
Would you ever come off the high school circuit to focus back on grade school?
I'm considering it now.
hell no.
You considering it now?
Hell no.
Why?
The group I got ready to graduate.
Gotta start fresh, blackboard. You've seen enough to say.
You not coming off.
I like him more
And
than
if I
sixth
did,
grade, huh?
we would do a reverse. If I went with him to little kids, we would do it in reverse. He would be the man. I'm not being the man this time. He would have to do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Well,
I've seen too much.
it.
I've been to between all of us. I'm very transparent. I've been to a psychiatrist.
Wow.
Said I've seen too much.
Black people.
These eyes have seen.
Ain't nobody, look, man, if you need to talk to somebody, talk to some fucking body.
Yeah, I've been to a
Please.
psychiatrist. Yeah, that's
Full
just
disclosure.
that's keeping it real.
Yeah. I didn't know it was deep like that, though.
What I do without it. So it's like, do I want to just go be a part of somebody else's thing? Or not somebody else's, but like go on the staff, be like the third assistant? Or do I want to just go grab some
So
nine?
you like more. You like finding the talent and raising the talent.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
I
Cultivating
do
the
that.
talent.
I do that even when I'm not trying.
Right. That's who you are.
Like I can watch a kid run and know he's gonna be a good athlete.
Shit. So what you're saying is you need more positions. Nah, fuck it, you ain't saying it. I said it for you. This gentleman, good brother Rob the Plug Turner, he needs more positions because what we've all known for a while is he got a crazy fucking eye for talent. And as you've seen him and good brother D Nail, they've taken that talent from where the fuck we from to the highest of heights at the levels of levels at what they are at that motherfucking time. And there's a lot of people in this country and even in this fucking world that can't say that they've done what these two gentlemen have done consistent.
Well, it's a theme. If you can say that, then you're at the highest level, which of course, we dealing with here. Is it a place for mom and pop in grammar school? Can it still survive right now? Mom and pop still can survive a little bit.
Depending on
I
relationships.
say guys like y'all can help us.
If you
But
got
they
relationships,
they can't have like delusions of grandeur though. Like you're not taking that group from third grade to 12th grade.
no.
Right. That's why I just said grammar school. I just said
No,
grammar and middle
Field
school.
Night is sponsoring that third grade.
I seen a gentleman.
Oh, shit.
I seen a gentleman. So you remember We All Can Go. So that people don't know We All Can Go. That was him. The guy Carlos.
Okay.
So Carlos had a group. He was flying kids from Arizona. He coming out of Memphis. He flying kids in. He had Marvin Bagley
Yeah.
first. With
Yeah,
no
he had a hell of a
sneaker
group.
sponsor.
Yeah, he
he
had a hell
had
of a
Darius Garland. No sneaker sponsor. They were on one team. That was him. Running it on his own. He still does it to this day. He
So
just
maybe-
now got a deal with Adidas. Well, he had a deal with Nike, and Nike kind of jigged him up to get Bagley. And then he left from them to go to Adidas. But he's really doing his own thing.
Right.
Yep, so it can happen. We gotta have the money. We got the money.
Okay. So maybe my question is, how the fuck can we help y'all do it? If you guys want to do it here, for here. How the fuck can we do
you
it?
even want to do
But you hear what he just said? That's the funny part that always makes me laugh. It is here. We are one.
Well, no.
It is
What
Delaware.
I'm saying mom and pop. Because I'm saying mom and pop grassroots. Grammar school.
I don't see a need. We have something most people don't have. We have a sneaker deal in the state
Right.
of Delaware.
And I ain't saying start from mom and pop. I'm like, start from where y'all start from. But what kind of fucking resources, what kind of energy, time, what the fuck can we do as a collective to make that?
So we could still do it. What would need to happen is understanding, okay, we have, the mothership is the Under Armour teams. All right, that's the mothership. We know that they only give so much in a budget that's going to be able to take care of those high school kids. We know that. It's not going to be very much you're going to be able to trickle down to the middle school kids.
True.
Which would mean now that's where the village come in. The village supposed to come in and say, okay, we're going to take care of the babies. And the ones that are good, this is the part that egos get touched. The ones that are good enough will go up with the big boys. We'll now have a feeder system or a B team
As it should be.
for the other kids that may not be as good, and they'll play on the B team, and we'll make sure they have money for that too. But that's where the village would come in. They would have to accept that the big boys are going to go here, and not to mention, let's be clear, we are bringing in kids from Connecticut, Virginia, D.C., Maryland. They're coming here.
This time zone.
They're coming to Delaware.
Right.
They're not. Tyrese Martin is from Allentown, NBA. Derek Jones, Chester, NBA. Ben Bentel, Africa, NBA.
Via Wilmington, Delaware.
Absolutely.
Coach Rob. Is that what we need? Because I got, like I said, I kind of got back into it around the same time. Bro was coaching, but y'all was killing it. I'm like, what the fuck? And then D-Nail
Oh man, we was killing it too, man.
I'm sorry, my fault.
We was killing it too, man. What you mean?
The Rebels was fucking killing it. But what I always
At the hall, we was killing it, bro. What you mean?
I'm sorry.
Nah, I'm fucking around with you.
But what I had intimated to D-Nail a while ago, and he, kind of schooled me on why it couldn't be. These days, and I'm saying with you two guys as the stewards in the front, and with Keith, you know what I'm saying? And even if y'all in front, y'all are the shot callers. Can that be possible? With no, we just homegrown, right? I mean, like I said, we
I think it has to be
homegrown
possible.
regular. I ain't gonna say it is possible.
Yeah, I think it's
What
possible.
else can we do, the public do, to make our thing? Because, like I was saying to D-Nail before, I was like, I want our thing to be
Well,
strong.
I'm gonna say it like
But-
this. One day I was on CB Dub, and Tell was Davis was talking, and Tell said, "Man, I just don't like AAU." I said, "Tell, hold up. Let me put it in perspective for you. Let's say it was you, Lenny, Corey, and Shea, right? And if somebody put 2 7-footers behind y'all, what would you say then?"
We're not gonna lose a game.
So the point I'm saying is, yes, you'd like for it to be homegrown, but the reality of it is, we're not going to play Chester anymore. We're
Right.
going to play Arizona, Los Angeles.
This is what I envision, because I'm not necessarily concerned about high school, because I think what happens, and this is just from what I'm seeing,
I mean,
there is I don't want the drop off. Like the ones that are in grammar school need to be prepped for this.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, the reality, like you said, of keeping a kid from 5th grade all the way through 12th grade, that's not happening now. It's just not gonna happen.
The thing, one of the barriers of that is it's a lot of division, which is normal because people got egos. But the people aren't preparing the kids for what's to come. They only preparing them for what they know.
So now let's
that part is
step
where I'm
in.
going.
Let's step in, because we got a community here, right? It's not for lack of knowledge. I just think the resources and the people not in the right places. You got guys that I'm pretty sure would be willing to support in terms of coaching, even coaching. You got legends that have been through it.
They are coaching though, but it's 20 AAU teams.
Nah, we're not talking about 20 AAU teams. We talking about, because it's splintered. It's splintered. It's splintered. It might be 20 AAU teams, but is there a point that we can kind of rub egos out the way and kind of like?
No, you just
But it's
said
not
no.
20 AAU.
I'm about as blunt as it comes.
Think about this. All right, so this is my vision. Okay, this is my vision. Okay, a non-high school program, right? That we cultivate the talent. Let's say you got a guy. Okay, you got the Silk League, right? That's the biddy league, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who's coaching in the Droop League?
I don't know who actually. I know. White Mike is probably in there.
He got volunteer.
Volunteer. Yeah.
That's my thing. So, is there any way we can get some, I would say, notoriety in terms of name recognition?
Well,
Name recognition on those sidelines, because
here's the thing. He said a great thing just now. He said it's going to be pride, egos involved, and he is absolute. So I know dudes now they were big time college players, right? They've had everybody in the world screaming their name. They got into this and they lost their mind, because what happens is now they have the attention of being around a high level basketball player, and they're totally reliving something else that they should have let go of. So what happens is, if a person, you say they get into this, you gotta have enough to go. You gotta always remember, I'm always gonna remember them little kids in them white, purple and gold uniforms. Always, no matter where we at, no matter what we're doing, no matter how big-headed I feel, I'm always gonna remember them little kids, because that's where the love started. It's never gonna be anything other than that. When the kids were in the car the other day, and they said, Coach D, turn that Bones on. Turn the Bones on. I said, I ain't turning that mess on. They said, why? I said, he sat in the same chair with you little bums. I'm not turning his music on.
Right.
Nigga crazy. Like, I don't look, he's still my boy. Like, when I seen him at the game, hey, what's up, man? I came to see your game, man. Yeah, man.
I saw the pictures and all
I
that.
said, I don't want to hear about the coach. I don't want to hear what happened, why he ain't put you in the game. I just wanted to see if it was real. That's it. I just wanted to see. I still don't know if it's real or not. I just needed to see it for myself. I'm about to go hang out. I'm leaving you.
Right. Right.
This is your thing.
Right.
You all right? Give me a hug. I love you.
You know what? That's blunt as a motherfucker.
Your hair look nice. You got a chain on your neck. You done brought mom. You like your house, mom?
Look at shot, youngster.
I love you. Bye. Like, it's over. He's gone now. I don't want to hang on his back. I don't want to keep Bones. It's over. It's new kids.
Another thing
New
that's
kid.
happening with youth coaching and middle school coaching is like they not putting those kids in those environments where they're playing a team that they probably won't beat. It's a bunch of teams out here just taking pictures with championships. They ain't putting nobody.
No smoke. Just to say they did it.
So you got some talented kids that never played against anybody better than them.
And if you tell them that, like you said, what they gonna say? Oh, you hate me. No, I'm telling you.
Now that's something I've come familiar with. The mixtape. The mixtape. That's something I've come familiar with. I think that's what you're speaking to a little bit.
Not really.
What?
Like for example,
Speak.
I don't really want to say names in the program and all that stuff, but
I don't want to fight, bro.
I know there's a kid that's really good, but if you pick like 10 names like Philly, Jersey, and Maryland, have you ever played against any of those kids before? What team they play for? Such and such. No, we ain't never played against them. But I saw his Instagram though, but I ain't never played against them.
Right.
Like we looked for those teams. We wanted to play those teams. We actually hunted those teams out. Like we want to try to beat you. We want to see if we are as good as
test our metal.
that. That's not happening a lot with these other teams.
And you know what? And that was what Coach D Nail told me. That kind of changed, well not kinda, did change my motherfucking view on. Oh! Our kids in Delaware that are that talented, they need to go and play against other people that are that talented. Instead of just being around here being good. Alright, that's cool. But you gotta go somewhere else and
Do
see.
you need high school basketball to go to college?
That's the question.
Do you need high school to go to college?
Can you just snap one all summer long for 4 summers
Yeah.
and just go straight to
I mean, but I still feel like the high school is always going to be necessary, especially with the new rules now. They got a whole live period for high schools now, and I feel like there's a reason why the DMV is better than all of us. The DMV has an infrastructure that is built from the brand. I remember we played a team in Maryland. What team? What they call?
Hold on, before you continue, you don't need high school basketball. There's a kid right now from a small town right outside here in Pennsylvania. He never played high school, went to junior college, played one season. Now he's at University of Washington, starting Pac-12.
Yeah, true.
You don't-
Is that an anomaly, or do you think that
I would
that's,
say,
you know, is it an anomaly? Is it an exception to the
call it an
rule?
anomaly.
Okay.
But is that trending?
No, he's just again, like he said, it did happen. But I'm saying, like I said, so right now,
and we know this kid.
I would consider the DMV the mecca of basketball as we speak today. It's not New York; it is the DMV area.
Well, it hasn't been New York for a long time.
Well, DMV is it.
I think
So-
AAU might have killed New York basketball too.
So I think we were. What's the name of that team we played? What were they called? I forgot what they were. They weren't.
Assault or something?
They weren't sneaker sponsored yet. But they have all D1 kids now. They're all D1. Villanova, Penn State. They're all D1. So we go to MITs for the first time, I believe.
What's the Supreme team?
Now Supreme team. I'm talking about the one that go to Penn State. The one that can shoot at Penn State.
Oh, Metro Sixers.
Metro 6.
Okay, I remember.
So we're down there playing, and these little kids are like robots. Pivot, come to a stop, pivot, turn, kick, boom, set picks. Like these look like little robots. Middle school kids, right? And then their infrastructure goes from middle school where they have training, and then people have money and they pay for the training.
Right.
And then their high school is connected to the AAU programs. The AAU programs are running the same stuff that the coaches in high schools are running. So they have an infrastructure, totally different.
Those kids that play for the Metro Sixers, one's at Villanova, one's at Duke, one's at Penn State.
Okay, you know, you're familiar with what we're doing,
Oh,
and
you
you've
remember.
already been proficient in it.
You remember who kicked your butt?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, damn right,
make you a better coach.
damn right.
Because you're seeing these dudes running this stuff with these little kids. It's like, okay, I'm not crazy. We are allowed to push them a little more than we are.
So, I guess so. My crazy theory, thinking where I'm over here sitting, from what I've known and what I've learned tonight, a great deal. What I've necessarily come to the conclusion of is maybe you two guys should be a little bit further in the front of.
That's what I'm trying to get to. But that's what I'm trying to get
Not
to.
even
But
a little bit.
everybody keeps throwing roadblocks up in my face. I
Maybe you
mean,
need to be way further in the front of Delaware basketball, period. I ain't saying high school, little school, middle school, whatever school. I'm saying I'm going down the gauntlet of today. Maybe our guys, Rob the Plug, D-Nail, we live in the fucking Final Four. Maybe they should be a little bit further along in the progression of Delaware basketball than what you are.
It's a popularity contest.
well, I mean,
And also, it goes.
all right, we know every roadblock in the world.
And there's more involved to it. Like I said, for us right now, we have a good group of dudes, and everybody plays their part. You know, we have, like I said, I seen some names: Terrell and Ron and me. We have a brother in Philly named Skip, and we got a bunch of guys that that play their part. You know, and everybody, if you know your role and you're good, that's why you win. You know, if you don't have the ego, if you don't think, well, I should be, and I'm supposed to have, why do he got that? He got more than me. When you forget that the kid is in the NBA, the kid made it, the kid did this, the kid got to college. What was the goal supposed to be?
I want to ask you this now. With that being said, it might be, and you might ruffle a little feathers with this, but do you guys feel that you're in the place that you should be in Delaware basketball?
Is that?
Or do you even care?
Is
No, I don't care.
Or
I can care less.
Okay.
I can care less. I mean,
Thank you.
I love where I'm from, but I know what I'm dealing with.
Okay.
I know exactly what I'm dealing with. I've dealt with it from high school. I've dealt with it all the way through. It's a big, gigantic popularity contest, and it is what it is. Like, I'm cool with that. All I'm worried about is the result. Are these children being serviced?
Now-
Bottom line, I could care less about what another adult is doing.
Free.
Right.
As long as the kid is getting what they need, I don't care about your accolades.
And actually, that's where I'm at with it. I'm like, look, as long as we got some stewards in the front of saying, look, I want to take these kids to another level. Thank you. I want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Coach Darnell Long. Thank you, Coach Rob Turner, for doing what the fuck you have done, what you're doing, and will do in the future for Delaware basketball. Because like I said, D-Nail changed my mind a whole 180 on Delaware basketball. And one of the few people who I just follow blindly, I'm like, God damn, I just keep seeing them pop up. Royalty. And we're one. Rob Turner. And turn me on to Salesianum. And it made me go back to what the fuck.
Rob
he's
made
done.
Salesianum cool.
How about it?
Hello! How are you?
My father has a video. I looked at it a couple weeks. Remember they used to have game of the week. We used to have game of the week.
Hello?
And then we used to
How
have
are
the
you?
highlights. So there's a highlight when we're playing Sally's. And one of the kids elbowed me. Now I'm pissed now. So now I went on a scoring streak and I scored. They got me on tape screaming. I said something like F. They could hear my voice like F Sally's and the video go off.
Yeah, Sally's wasn't cool.
We didn't like Sally's.
Sally's has never been cool.
My son,
Thank you.
and guess what? Sally's, I love you, because that's what they did.
I started paying attention.
My child got a free education. My child got a free education out of there.
Yeah, Sally's
Sally's
put it this way. Put it this
I'm
way.
not gonna lie.
I
I fleetingly paid attention until who's assistant coach now? Oh shit! I'm going to games and everything. Shout out to bro, Big Mac in the building. I'm going to games and everything.
Or ever even thought about being a coach, we hand select the kids. They sent them to Sally's.
And that's a good question. And then what was the method behind the madness?
We wanted them to play together.
Oh, so
Was that a thought process in terms of the
That was
only
the-
destination?
Dale
or-
Castle, McKean, you just wanted to play together?
We wanted them to play together
And get education.
and get what we believe was a quality education.
That's probably the best.
And not to and on top of it, let's also be clear. When I dropped my son off, the first day at Sally's, I told him, I said, look, when you go in here, we don't have what they got. Don't forget why you here. Don't get lost in the comic book. Don't get in here and think because you with them, you are them. You came to get it and get out. Don't get in here and get lost. We do not have what they got. We just trying to get by. This is the opportunity. Take advantage of it. Don't blow it.
That's real words right there.
God.
Was that intentional though? With just Sally's? Was that intentional?
It seems like it was very intentional.
We sent Darnell, Jamal, Trayvon,
Famir.
and Famir all to Sally's at the same time.
Wow. Now that you say that has nothing but intentional written all.
Well, because you know,
slapped all over it.
because it can that be done anywhere else,
Yeah.
or is it just Sally's provide the perfect opportunity?
It can be anywhere, but the people would have to come together and go, okay, we're going to take this group of kids and we're going to do it. But as he said earlier, the egos are a little different now. It's a little different, and there's more guys in the mix. There's more people. When we were doing this, we had a few. You know, it was only a few people moving
But
around.
other programs and schools have a relationship like that, but do they have that quality of talented of a child that they can maneuver around like that?
See, they may have the program that can support a player,
But not the talent.
right? But they don't have the actual people in place to
'Cause like say-
procure said
Like,
talent.
like for example, Tyler Hill, for example, recently they just won a state championship.
That was a whole group of
They
kids.
had 4 groups of kids that have been playing together.
Cycle
They was in
through.
the 5th grade.
That's exactly why they won the state championship.
And I thought that was so weird. I said, man, this has to be the first time in my life I came to the Bob and seen 3
St. Mark's right now.
private school teams in Howard.
A bunch of their kids
All
all
the
been
same.
playing together.
And the
since they
coach
were
is the
6th grade.
coach. He is the coach. of the team.
Seaford right now.
So it sounds like
Seaford was another game.
So it sounds to me
It's
like
happening.
So it sounds to me like that blueprint.
Got the talent.
It's still going on, but the talent is not the same. That's my point. It was never that it stopped happening. The talent is not the same.
Now, that's a point that I have said. I say this to my brother. I said, look, the people coming out of these drafts, they good, but they ain't the same caliber of players. Do you feel like the caliber of player, they're as talented as they are coming out of today's drafts and going to today's college? Are they as good as, I guess, advertised?
Well, let's look at it like this. Now they tell a kid that he got to come out and do all these things, right? When before, people were specialists. A person can shoot, he shot. A person rebounded, he rebounded. A guy can handle the ball, he handled the ball. You're asking a kid to be a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
Ooh, man, I was thinking to myself, and I said it to myself, I said, damn. I was watching Summer League, I said, it looks like every player out here, regardless of size, skill, or position, is the same player.
We got a kid now. I'm in love with this kid. He's in Chester. He goes to Chester High School. His name is 6'5", almost 6'6". His name is Kevin Rucker. He's been playing with me this year, and I'm going to start mentoring him. We're going to start work. We've been working out for the past few weeks. He just picked up about 3 or 4 offers.
He's supposed to have a big year this year.
Yeah, and
Plus, they had another kid to transfer, so that opens up even
for
more
him,
shot.
he was in the game the other day, and this kid is super hyper athletic. But this is how the game have changed. He gets in the game, he can get to the rim anytime he wants. He shot 4 straight threes. And I kept asking, why? They can't stop you from getting to the rim. But that's not his fault. That's the mentality of the game these kids are in. They think they have to do that. And I'm telling you what, you're not a great shooter. You're a great slasher and a great athlete. Why don't you kill them with that? Destroy them with that. You keep bailing them out. But I'm open. And so is that.
Why are you open?
Why?
Because then you're going to break the shot.
Yes. But they know they're terrified of you coming at them.
Let me ask y'all this. You guys work with youth basketball and things like that. What I've noticed, like especially with the summer, I was like, God, it looked like everybody out here is either a 2 or a 3, and that only goes by your size. If you're 6'10", oh, you're a 3. You're 6'1", oh, you're a 2. I can't even say why, because I pretty much know why. Is that a detriment for every child or every kid out here that plays basketball to learn the same stuff? Is that a detriment? I ain't gonna say, maybe I'm not worded that right.
The thing about basketball is you got to be able to do what your position requires.
Is it even positions anymore? For the most part? It's
it
like we're
is.
moving into
It may not
positionless
be a
basketball.
particular
almost.
position, but
They say it's not. They say it's positionless basketball.
We're gonna need somebody to rebound.
But I disagree with that.
We're gonna need somebody playmaker.
Giannis got to make a pass to somebody to shoot, right?
Or Giannis
Somebody
himself.
But is he the shooter? He got shooters around him.
And
Right?
in some cases, you got multi-talented, multi-skilled guys, and the skills blend the same from the one position through the 5. The requirement is almost the same. You got certain duties where this guy more heavily is a distributor more than this guy, and this guy is more heavily a rebounder. But for the most part, the way the game is played, everybody pretty much has to develop the same. Because now sometimes you get guards that's rebounding better than your forwards and your bigs.
Sometimes you do. But I mean, also you're putting more on that one person. Like if I have my guard and he has to do all those things, when the fourth quarter comes,
Floor balance.
we're going to wear this guy out because he has to do all those things. Versus, yes, he should be a good rebounding guard.
Well, I'm not saying has to, but I think the natural talent of a player sometimes lends to them to give them the ability to do these things, like a Russell Westbrook, and not just matter of fact, not even just Russell Westbrook.
I was about to say you didn't want to use him.
No, but just from a statistical standpoint, he has the ability to out of area rebound. You know what I'm saying? Because of his athletic ability and the things that he can do. That's not a coach requiring him to rebound.
But he does
Most
all those
players
things.
like that.
But see what happened to him? He does all those things, and it doesn't equate to winning.
This is true.
Because
I would
he
agree.
doesn't know how to go.
Well, the ultimate level of winning.
Right.
Because he's won a lot.
He's a great player. He doesn't understand that you have to be a great leader. Knows how to deviate responsibilities. That's a testament of a great leader. A great leader will deviate responsibilities. I know I could. We all know Michael Jordan's story. Michael Jordan could have did whatever he wanted, but there came a point where Phil Jackson got him to go, look, Mike, just deviate a little bit. Let him do a little bit. We know you can do whatever
Just
you want.
delegate a little bit to this guy and a little bit of this guy.
Let him do a little bit, and we're going to win.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Do you think it hurts the game of basketball with a 7-1 guy and a 6-1 guy doing the same stuff?
Not if he's good at it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Do you even like the game right now? Do you like the game? Or is it just a matter of, I like basketball and
I love
not necessarily
basketball.
the direction it's
I
going?
love
Do you
basketball.
like the direction
I
it's
love
going?
basketball. I don't love what's going on. I don't love where the parents are. I don't love the machine behind it. I love the game. I put that on Twitter today. It's funny. I said, with each generation, I feel like a little bit of the soul of the game dies. With each generation passing, a little bit of the soul of the game dies with it.
Rob, it seemed like you play the game though. You like the game a little bit, like the behind the scenes and the machine. You've almost turned into the T2. You know how to work the system.
I've been on all the sides.
So whereas he don't like the machine at all, you've learned you Iron Man with the machine.
I mean, it's a necessary evil.
Yeah, you're the Iron Man with the machine. So it's like it's again another perfect dynamic. Whereas he's willing to play and understand and work within the matrix. Whereas I know.
When I said I'm considering going to grammar school, and he was like, I don't want nothing to do with it. But you have to know who's coming. It's a part of it.
I think it could be done, man. And I think it could be done on a major level with because I know it's guys out there that's watching right now, some big name guys.
I know you are.
That have the time, okay, and they want to give back. But it has to be something special, though.
Which he saw.
I think it has to be something special.
He would not have jumped into it if he didn't see something. He saw something special, and he told me. I was like, man, these little kids. Until I went, and then when I seen it, I was like.
Now, I mean multiple teams, though, not just the flagship team, one team. I mean multiple teams, because at the end of the day, like you said, you want an environment where there's, you want a dungeon environment. You want still, so it's to have 3 teams, a 5th, 6th, 7th grade team. There's cultivation and there's still sharpness still there.
Let me say this. Do you agree that there are people who are doing it as we speak?
Yeah.
There are. So people are doing it. My point still remains. It's not that people aren't doing it. It's not that people aren't trying. The environment is what the environment is.
So it's dead.
Sometimes the fight is brought to you.
Right. The
Sometimes the fight is brought to
The
you.
environment is not the same environment we knew. It's a different environment, and you're fighting a juggernaut, an environment of helicopter parents, entitlement.
Right.
It's something you just can't fight on your own. Now, you can deal with your child. My son is, look, we doing this, we're doing this, but your child, you can only go as far as, like, I had to learn a lesson. Like, I can only go so far now. I used to go crazy. I was going to parent-teacher conferences with the kids. I was going in. There was a time I'm driving up and down the road, blowing engines, I'm going in. But then I realized So they told me one time, "You're not their dad."
You know what? That's fair. That's fair.
I got my own son.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, my bad. You're right. You're not.
You know what? Let me
That's
take
fair.
You're right.
let me take a step back, man.
Let me take it.
That's
I'm
fair.
not your dad. You're
That's fair.
absolutely correct. So now you can't save them all. Some, the ones that want to be, that want to listen, the ones that are attentive to what you're saying, the parent that hears you. Like I said, you get like I keep bringing up Kevin Rucker, but his father, whatever y'all say, that's it. Because I believe you showed us. We got a scholarship, but we didn't have nothing. I believe.
Right.
Fine.
That means something.
Hey, I'm not. I wouldn't.
That means something.
I wouldn't push you in any way to hurt you. I don't have a dog in the race. I don't want to get anything off your kid. I don't want anything.
Like you can't.
But you got a
can't
track
get
record,
anything
though.
off your kid.
There's a track record there with, this basketball that not a lot of people have, and not a lot of people want to give y'all the type of credit that y'all deserve.
That's the part I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Dog.
So that's not. It doesn't happen by just luck. You've built the track record up. You know what I mean? And I personally think that because of that experience, can that be used on a lower level to cultivate the kids to a point where once they get to that meat grind or that ninth grade, our kids is ready to fly at that point? Is it being done? Is it being done with We Are One to a level that you like to, as far as?
And I think we are doing it. I think what happens, that's the one thing I said. Do you agree that a lot of the kids aren't prepared to be on that level that we're putting them on? It's not a lot of them coming out of this school.
Well,
Can that be fixed? What I'm saying.
we are-
Let's say y'all drop down.
One has their own middle school kids, and the 6th grade team is top 5 in the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
7th.
But is it comprised of Delaware kids or is it just a
I don't
hodgepodge?
think it's any Delaware kids.
None. Okay, so that's my. So I don't
7th
count
grade
that.
team has a mix of Delaware and Chester kids. They're a good team, but not like a national ranked team. And the 8th grade team has a good amount of Delaware kids, and a couple of them are ready.
So the 7th and 8th grade team seems like they're the ones with the Delaware kids, but from your rhetoric, they okay.
That's just how it's happening right now.
But
I'm
that's
gonna be
fair,
blunt.
though. I mean,
I'm gonna be blunt.
especially with you guys' background.
Let me be
if
blunt.
you say,
I know what you want.
Right.
Tell me what I want, because I want to make sure we're the same
You
thing.
want it to be that it's our kids, our way, that our kids are the ones doing it.
Somewhat. You're right. Somewhat. Let me correct that.
Right.
What I want is
I would like for you to get to that point.
here's what I think. Here's what I want. Now that maybe 7 years ago this wouldn't have been feasible or wouldn't have been reality, but the credentials are there now, right here, right? There's enough experience
Yep.
that, in my eyes, I think the abilities and the knowledge is kind of wasted in high school when it could be far more useful in a middle school or grammar school setting, because now you've done this, you know what it takes to do this. You're the big boss senseis, at the end of the game.
But can they graduate and share the fruits of the labors on the high school level?
Let's drop down.
Somebody else?
Let's drop down.
Okay.
Let's drop down to middle
I
school.
think he graduated from that.
Graduated from middle school?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said.
And not even-
But you've identified a problem though. Is
Now,
that
don't get me wrong. Like I said, if let's say he said he came in one day and said, "D, man, I want to try coaching the middle school team." I mean it. It would have to be in reverse. It would have to be, you the man.
okay? So
Yeah, you're
so
the man.
we have. Okay, so it's clear. You the head coach. It's clear.
Yes.
But my thing is, it's like, okay, I think it would be better served that you get them before they get to the 9th grade, so that when they get to the 9th grade, they ready to be dropped out of the nest and ready to fly. Instead of now.
But then you also got to remember now. Also, we're dealing with more forces than we were
Right,
dealing with
just-
back then. It's not the
There's more
same.
people in their ears.
It's flooded. It's watered
No, we
down.
talking about you still on Under Armour.
Yeah, but see, you got to remember, even though it's Under Armour, now you got the made hoops. Nike got a league. It's not. When we did it again, it was pure.
Right to the door.
It was pure.
Right.
It was everybody got their kids together. You molded them. You grinded them. They were with you. That hop around high school mentality that they leave and hop around. That happens in high
I'm
school.
gonna cut to the chase.
It's now in middle school.
I'm gonna cut to the chase. Do you think y'all could do a better job coaching the middle school team, or the elementary school team,
Good, brother.
the younger
We're
teams?
not even talking about in middle school.
I know they can.
Oh, you said do we do a better team than what's happening?
They was.
I don't want to disrespect.
He's got a vested interest, though. I
don't want to.
I'm talking about putting individuals in that position with a vested interest.
I see the group. I think his name's Donnie or something like that.
Because I don't think I don't necessarily think they care if it's all Delaware. As long as
Yeah, there's a team Delaware that's here. I think he does I've heard little things in there that could be better, but I've heard what I see with my own eyes, he does a good job with those kids, those little Delaware kids. But he does a good job.
Definitely.
Yeah, he does a good job with
Okay,
them. But at the end, like for instance, Rob Wright come from him. The other one from Newman Goretti come from him. They came through his program. So yes, it can still be done, but it's not just him. There's Delaware certified hoopers. There's this.
Right.
There's
It's
that.
not behind,
There's
right.
this. It's so many of them now.
What the hell we
It's
got
all
to
messed
do
up.
to get the right people behind y'all?
If I'm not the man over here, I'm gonna go.
I go over there. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Or over there.
So
or
again, it
over
goes back
there.
to my first statement. The environment dictates.
Yeah, you right.
The environment change, it dictates.
The fight has been
As
brought
much
to
as
you.
we don't like it, as much as we love rap music to be like this,
Yeah.
now rap music
The
is
fight
like
has been
that.
brought to you.
If
The
you
fight
can
has
hate
been
it all
brought
you
to
want, that's the environment.
Plus, just piggybacking off with me without trying to say, most kids running from the smoke.
Yes. Not the same.
It's not hard for kids to sign up and try out for We Are One.
Now that's one
Delaware
thing.
kids.
That's one thing when I
That's
was
the reason
younger.
why they're not going to those tryouts and showing up at those tryouts. It ain't because they know. They know.
And on top of it, again, I hate to keep using this thing here. When I was in high school, all we had was the Street and Smith book.
Hello. You getting there with somebody.
Street and Smith was all we had, right?
You just knew people's
So
names.
me and Clarence Williams went up to 5-star. We see Ron Artest. We see all of these people, right? So we're seeing this. Now we're not in awe. It's when you see them, it's attack. Kobe Bryant at ACC camp in Jersey.
Attack.
I watched him dunk.
Dog Mikey Davis.
Me, Mikey Davis, he don't ask Wayne Richards. We was there. You know what I mean? We didn't go, oh my God, that's Kobe Bryant. We went at it at Drexel. I mean, let me see LSI. We just went at it. That's it.
I've heard the story of that kid, my baby. Rest in peace, Mikey L. Davis.
Yeah.
That's Kobe Bryant. Target A1.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, now these kids, they see this kid online now.
Oh, that's Kobe Bryant. I'm going that way.
Yo, bro, I seen your mixtape. What's up? Not let me eat off this dude plate. Not let me chop his head off.
Now they want to eat off his plate instead of chopping his head off.
They want to go, yo, that's my bro.
And before I mean, we can still be cool, but before I say you my bro, let me try you first. Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm still going. You might not be my bro after I trash you.
That's what made us back in our day. That's what made us bro.
That was one of the reasons why I was asking the question.
We bros now.
I wanted to pose the question.
I don't want to hang with the bro. I want to hang with the dudes that do this.
That was one of the reasons why I wanted to ask the question. I was like, we may not have. I've seen some skilled ass young guys, 14. I'm like, God damn, I couldn't do that shit. But like Swat told me, he's like, I ain't gonna say everything he said, but he was like, they can't beat us.
And that's what he means.
He said they can't beat us. He said they're very skilled, But playing the game of basketball, that's something different.
Like I would never again watching Glasgow against William Penn my freshman year on the bench, watching Corey Curtis and Lenny Brown like I watching them go at it.
Masterclass.
Like that was like, you know, they don't have that. They don't understand. They're cool, but their intention was to destroy each other. That was their intention.
We've
And
been
they are
trying to
cool.
destroy each other since kids.
And they're cool.
I've seen it.
But their intention is to destroy. They don't feel like that. The kids I'm coaching, they don't feel like that. They want to beat you. They don't want to destroy you.
I've been a part of some of the East Side, Kingswood / Riverside or Powell, whatever you want to call it. But I can tell you, I can honestly tell you, and I'm pretty sure anybody from Riverside or East Side will tell you, they're the only true rivals.
Absolutely.
Now you want to show up and beat everybody.
That's right.
But when you testing your metal, East, River. And the thing is, what that is, what people don't understand is Corey and Doc. We did the Go Talk on it. Corey and Doc have been going against each other for so long in so many sports. They have no idea. And they like this, cool as shame. But I want to kill your ass. And I've been on the field or the court to see both of them win and lose. So you saying that's what's missing?
It's going. Going.
I've been a part of that shit.
Going.
It's something to pull you away. It's something else to pull you away from.
It's dead. And I mean dead. Gone.
Too much buddy.
Too much. It's dead.
Yeah, I got you, be mad.
I ain't saying gone. I'm telling you it's dead. It ain't gone. Dead.
It's funny because I like to relive some of my youth. I played for East Side. Played against Kingswood. I remember the whole Price's Park filled with spectators to watch 9 and 12-year-olds play softball. Do you know the pressure of the whole projects coming across that motherfucking Governor Prince? And I'm like, yo, I just want to beat these dudes. Even though my cousin lived down the street, I know some of these guys. I want to kick their ass because when they were hanging with my cousin, we bust East Side ass. Now, I don't want that ever to come up. Now, they had Ace come up, but as the competition and what it was, I can shoot back at you with many bullets. With many bullets. And the thing was, I'm like, and what you guys have spoken to, and what I was like, well, I don't know if that's there or not. You guys have spoken to, those guys have been playing against each other for so long. And I can tell you, it wasn't always drills. It wasn't always practice.
Nope.
It wasn't even always Corey Curtis against LP. It was just, we want to get better because we got to beat those guys.
You want to know what else? What you talking about? The last 5 sets of kids have no idea what you're talking about.
Nope. No, what you did that? They don't even know what you did.
Shit.
They didn't experience that.
No.
They didn't have a Kingswood or
East Side connection.
People's
There's no rivalries.
You don't know what that is.
There's no rivalries.
I don't think y'all know the pressure. And I ain't saying y'all, but I don't think people know the pressure. When a whole project walks across the motherfucking street, beating on shit, ping, ting, ping, ting, ping, ting, ting, ping. Nigga, it's Saturday. What the fuck is all the whole projects doing up for a 9 and 12 softball game off the championship, and we ain't letting them lose? Y'all don't even play.
Gone.
Their only concern
Like, wow.
is the kids from the same neighborhood playing in the Boys and Girls Club in-house league. That's it.
And that's why you look on the draft. I want people to always start looking at this draft. This NBA draft. You know what you seeing in that green room now? You ain't seeing that old sad story no more about the kid that got out the projects no more. What you seeing is them suburban 2-parent homes.
European
I've seen
kids.
a lot. I've seen a lot of frizzy
European
hair.
kids, yeah.
I've seen a lot of frizzy hair mixed couple.
It's not.
Yeah,
That's how
and I ain't mad.
That's how I want to allude to about most of the city kids.
Not the
Most
same.
of the parents moved out the city.
Yep.
They city kids, but they just don't live in the city no more. They live
My
out
parents
in
are city
Newcastle.
parents. They just don't live out
They
there.
living out in Newcastle. Like a lot of them, like I said, Howard Hole started at 5, living by me.
Yeah. So it's not
That's how
it's
full.
not the same environment. It's not the same circumstances. It's different circumstances, different environment, and you got to be able to maneuver through different circumstances and different environment. And that's what we're doing. We're dealing with, like, I had to tell myself the other day, my boy I coach with from Philly, and he's a yeller and I'm a yeller. So I had to say to myself, I said, you know what?
Somebody can't be the yellow.
I said, this game, I'm just going to be the positive guy. I said, I'm going to be like Rob. I'm going to be just like Rob. I'm going to be like, all right, guys, you know. And I did it. But I can feel myself, like, my skin itching.
This ain't me.
Yeah, it's not me, but
I feel what
the
you're saying.
point is, that's the environment. Like, they just break down easy when you're tough on them. It's just, and that's why I say his temperament and mine mesh. It's just, it works because when I'm losing it,
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, good cop, bad cop.
You know.
Good cop, bad cop. I understand that. Let's switch gears for a second, man. Outside, take yourselves out of the equation and your program out of the equation. What's the basketball program you respect the most?
Team takeover.
Where they based out
Travel
of?
ball?
Travel ball, yeah.
DC.
DC.
Team takeover.
One program?
Do 2, 3, it don't matter.
Shit, all that DMV shit. But final though, final's tough. Ain't no. I mean, I know it's a thing, but you gotta respect it.
So, this or that, man. Quick question. We're gonna go with some this or that, man. Just some rapid fire shit, man. You know, best game y'all ever had.
Like,
Best game, AAU circuit. Best game y'all ever played in.
the game that comes to mind, the last We Are One championship, we almost didn't make it out of the first round. Won in overtime, first round of the playoffs. Eric made like the game-winning shot. It was down in Atlanta.
My favorite, I'm gonna say, him and I are coaching 15U on the circuit for the very first time, and we don't have anybody who you would consider a Division I athlete, and we're going against. Now we have one kid who's Division I. He goes to Ryder. One went to, where did Booty go?
NJIT.
NJIT, and one at Ryder. Now we're playing against Ajiri and Booty. Yeah, he came again. He came.
The big kid from Baltimore. Ajiri was 16 years.
Okay, so we have one.
We got one.
One
Back to
Division I
one.
player. So we're playing, and we're in foul trouble.
Oh yeah, I know this.
We're in foul trouble. Like, this is to get to the championship game against Izod. Izod has Nazi Reed,
Remember that team?
Louis King, everybody,
Gunship,
pros.
Muhammad, and what's
So we are fighting.
Puerto Rico.
We're like right there to get to the championship
Playing against a team from Louisiana.
for Louisiana. And there's this kid on our team. He doesn't ever get in the game. So Rob said, "Look, man, the kid's in foul trouble. Man, just give him a second." I'm like, "Rob, we can't put him in. Man, we gonna lose." But I said, "But just give him a minute. He gonna be all right." Boy gets in. As soon as he got in, beep, foul, bucket. Beep, foul, bucket. I mean, they are coming.
And ones, both.
And ones. And
They
ones.
hunted him up.
6 straight points,
Six?
less than a minute.
Less than a minute, they went after him. Bucket, bucket, bucket. And we got out to the skin of our teeth to get to the championship.
Damn.
We didn't have a chance at championship, but we got all the way. And we was one of the worst teams.
Who
We
beat
wasn't even
the
the best team in the beginning. We
Who
was one
beat
of
the
worst.
shit out of y'all?
We got all the way to the championship game.
Isaac.
Who beat the shit out? No. Who the worst ass whooping y'all took on the circuit?
Should probably be Isaac.
That's all
That same
pros.
Jordan?
They got 6 Division I basketball players.
Pros. Nazi Reed alone.
Yeah, he was different. I'm
Louis
not,
King in the pros.
Louis
too.
King in the
Yeah.
pros. Javon Quinley is a star point guard at Alabama. Yeah.
they had what it was Luther Muhammad,
Luther Muhammad,
Quinley,
Arizona
Louis
State.
King,
And you got
Najee
the
Reed
little boy that
and
play for Arkansas. Little
Who's the
Rock.
light skin?
Little
Who's the
Rock,
light
third
skin
point
kid?
guard. Yeah.
Who was the light skinned kid? It was one more.
That's him. Oh, you talking about Tiba Taylor?
Yeah, him.
He was a point guard at
He played Division I too.
He played Division
Yeah,
One.
I know he played. I forget where he played.
Wagner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best individual performance you've seen.
Gotta be something Derrick Jones did.
I don't know.
He said it just gotta be.
He's a
It
crazy
gotta
motherfucker.
be.
He's a crazy motherfucker. So I understand that. I might have forgot some crazy shit that he did, huh?
I'm gonna have to go with, and people say they always say I'm wrong for this. I still believe he's the best player in our program. Tyler Cole, yeah. We were getting smacked by team final at St. Andrews. They were killing us. And he comes in with his shoes unlaced, goofy, looking like Charles Barkley, overweight. He got in that game.
He's a monster.
He just started trashing people. And he talking to you the whole game. You got him on me, but like he's just a monster.
Yeah, he's a problem. He was only about 6'5" too.
6'5", I could do everything.
About 6'5". He was
Go
girthy
shoot
though.
up,
He was
jump,
pretty girthy. He
shoot.
was about
Everything.
220,
Handle the
225,
ball.
230. Maybe more than that, but he could do everything. I remember.
From like
PA somewhere,
like like Allentown area. Yeah.
I know he went to Perkiomen. I don't know where
He
that
went
is.
to Perkiomen,
but-
and he went to Trenton Catholic. He went to a
I
few
know he went to
schools.
Perkiomen. He ended up at Perkiomen, all right?
No, when it was over, I believe it was Trenton, because there was a gentleman I used to deal with named Rev Hunter. Rest in peace, he passed away,
Mm-hmm.
but he used to really deal with him and mentor him. And he used to want to be the one that pick him up and bring him down here to practice. He would be the one that bring him to the game.
Because he was 2015, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, because I know that next year. No. Was that next year where they had Floyd and Malachi and the other kid from the Burlington or something like that? Willingboro.
Yeah.
What's his name? They ended up at Seton
Shout out
Hall.
to the brother. I got peoples over there.
He would have ended up at Seton Hall. They had them three there at one point. So he must have been before them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely before
Yeah, so
them.
like I said, we've been. That's why I always laugh when people like, I'm like, y'all not understand. This is a Delaware program, and we have been ranked top 5 in the country, number 1
For years.
in the country, in the
not-
whole
Not
country,
for years.
number
Decades.
1.
Decades. A serious fucking program.
Had McDonald's on America.
McDonald's All-American. You got.
I can't lie. I was following shit, and then I went away, and I had to come back. The two shits that made me come back was my bro coach and his team. But when I kept seeing, I was like, I know these two brothers, and they just keep popping up with chips and success and royalty. I didn't know. I swear to you, when I was like, I didn't know it. I was like, all I knew was field team Rebels and D-Nell and Rob. Like, I know them, and they coaching and doing this shit crazy. All I knew was y'all two. Did it feel like it was just y'all?
No.
Now I'm talking from here. From here, like.
No. Like the Rebels, I respected the
Well,
Rebels.
that's what I'm saying. Like, did it feel like I'm saying y'all, all three of y'all included? Did it feel like it's just the Rebels and we're one from this time zone?
There was a team in Dover that was pretty successful.
Yep, they were decent.
Go like Delaware's finalists or something.
Yeah, I think they finished with a high ranking, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
They were
Because
finalists.
It's been a couple
Because I'm saying,
programs.
like, traveling teams from Delaware is an anomaly anyway.
Right.
But to be as successful as you motherfuckers was, that's crazy.
Well, I didn't.
So that's
I
what I
didn't
was
wanna-
asking. Like, did it feel crazy to y'all? Like,
After a while, we felt like we deserved it.
Yeah, I think once you find out you belong and you go through that grinder, man, and it's not just local yokel basketball. Now you going through that grind and you winning them games, and you're like, all right, well, this is commonplace. Like you feel like, all right, we should be here.
and you know what?
Like,
With that being
we knew we were going to meet Izod in the championships. Like when we went to tournaments.
Yeah, all the time.
We was never good enough to beat them, but we knew we was going to beat them. At the
What
championship.
I would like to say from a person who didn't know then but knows now, thank you. for doing what you did, having the foresight to say, oh, no. We got the talent, but we just don't have the organization and resources, whatever. But we're still willing to trek this motherfucking trek. I would like to say thank you for what you've accomplished, what you are doing, and what you will do in the future. Because I was like I said, I had an issue with some things. Even though I was like, I love the success that my brothers is getting. But I was like, I had an issue. I was like, damn, these are Delaware players, succeeding somewhere else, or seems like they succeeding somewhere else. Coach Dinell, he had to put me, called me up that morning. And schooled me at work. Like I thought he was at work. He substantiated he was at work. Thank you for taking your time out at work to educate me on why Delaware is not this, but why Delaware can be this. You know what I'm saying? So, in hindsight, I like to say thank you to all the fuck that y'all have done. Let the record reflect. You have not garnered the proper respect for what you have done already. Let alone what you have been doing and what you will continue to do. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, no. I'm a person who loves basketball. And when I get back into it, y'all are the faces of it. And y'all are the faces who have driven me to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got something here. These guys got their eye on it, their hand on it, their thumb on it. I don't really even fuck with anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know anybody else. Put it like, I don't know anybody else. But to think that these two brothers with Keith, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, for what you have done, I'm like, I have no idea. Well, I do have an idea, but I do not have an idea why now to this day people are not like, oh no, these guys.
I mean, let's just say what it is.
What is it?
He said it. It's a popularity contest. We are not, we come from an environment, and I hate to say this, we come from an environment where you had to be into certain things, be a part of certain things, be around certain people to be respected. Now,
And that's fair.
and I understand that. I'm not the one. I can proudly tell you that both my parents was in the home. Both my parents were there. I never got in any trouble. I was
Which is not something people should be like, that's bullshit. No.
Yeah,
You should be proud of.
Right.
Never, ever getting in trouble.
Right. So because I wasn't part of, it was part where I felt like I'm born and raised on the east side.
Yes,
You
sir.
can't take that from me. You can't say I'm any less east side than you because I never meddled with someone, or I never did this, or I never did that. I was in the same leagues you were in, the same schools you were in.
And to piggyback on your point, I know he comes from our same area.
Yes.
With the same values.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what.
So,
Right.
so a lot of it simply has to do with that. It's just okay. That's him, but he ain't one of my guys. That's cool. He's cool. I see what he's doing or what he's doing, but they're not one of our guys.
I feel what you're saying.
I always tell people I don't have to like you to respect you.
True.
But plenty of people I don't like, but I respect what they're doing. I respect them. And some people don't have that. Some people don't know how to go, okay, I don't dig him too tough. I don't know him, but I respect what he's doing. It takes a lot for a person to have that, to be able to do that.
Humility.
I don't do, it's humility.
A lot of humility, man. A lot of humility. It
How
takes
do
a lot
you
of
feel, maybe, possibly, about your place in Delaware basketball?
None of that don't even matter to me because I never got into it for that.
Thank you. because I don't think either one of you guys would have accomplished what you have accomplished and will accomplish if you got into it with any other intent than what the intent you got into it with.
And my main reason for doing it is because I felt like I was good enough when I was younger, but I didn't have the opportunity. So I wanted to provide that opportunity for these particular kids.
Let the record reflect. He said, I felt like I was good enough to do it. So he did it. If you feel like you're good enough, shoot your shot. Matter of fact, shoot Kobe Bryant shots. Shoot all the fucking shots. Because you never know. You might actually end up to be Coach Rob or Coach D-Man.
Closing thoughts, man. Just this whole basketball thing. This whole basketball thing. What's the future plans?
I came up with a motto. I think people tried to
Please
like
share.
take it, but
They did try.
out there.
They did try to take it.
but like
Who's they?
We ain't gonna say that.
You're not gonna say no
Names
name?
and faces will be withheld and protected in this.
So what motto is that?
it was my whole goal was to make Delaware basketball great again.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily know if that happened or not, but that's a goal of mine.
It's still the goal?
I believe so, because I'm still here. I'm still doing it.
Oh, good brother. I think you are still firmly cemented in making Delaware.
And I got
great again.
asked the question before, and they was like, "Well, I see you say make Delaware basketball great again. Well, when was it great?" And to me, it was great in the mid '90s.
Well, great is relative. What's great to me? If
And
it's great to me, it was great.
And it's
I
my
mean,
experience of what I saw.
yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I used to go to William Penn games. My mom used to take me to William Penn games when they had Lenny Tell and Gary. I probably was like 11 or 12 or something.
Shout out to Frank Barris.
And like,
Screams at everybody on
what,
Facebook.
like that's what Delaware basketball was to me. Like that's my experience, and that was a very, very high level of basketball. And like I would like to see that happen again.
Let the record reflect that starting backcourt, where the starting backcourt and the three all went somewhere motherfucking significant. Xavier and Tell is like Virginia's
Reunion.
exactly.
Hall of Fame.
You know what's funny though? It's funny that you say that. Just that period. I will say that, like I said, there was another period, and we had an audience member sitting here who was from that period of time. That like that. I'm gonna say 2003 through 2005-ish period. It gave that feeling. It gave that feeling, the games back then. And I got lucky. My son was going to school at Glasgow, and I happened to, just be there. And it had that same feeling. So
Every game.
yeah, it was because
I'm not just
is
talking
that
about the Glasgow game.
No.
Because you go to other places.
You go to
and get
McKees,
that-
Mount Pleasant, and still
Because like
feel.
in our era, like
It
he
was,
said,
it was.
you
It was-
could
it was
go to
extremely-
games. You could go to Mount Pleasant game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wilmington High games and get that feel.
Now your son has been out how long?
New Orleans.
I mean, he graduated in 2005.
That's my
if
point.
that. I mean,
That's my
it's
point.
been a minute.
That's
This was
almost
my
20
this was
years
Mark
ago.
Jordan's
I'm
love.
glad
That's my point.
Concord was loaded. There was a lot
That's-
of teams
that's
that was
my
loaded.
point.
Howard was loaded.
That's
There's a lot
my
of teams that was loaded around that
It's-
time.
It's not that. It's not that. I challenge you to just go to a game. Just go to
It
some
was
games.
you brought him up earlier, Lamar Mason. That around that time when he was in school.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody was loaded at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it
So
was.
it was
It
Middletown was loaded at that time. It was
Now-
extremely competitive.
Now go watch it now.
I go all the time.
What it look like?
Bro, was bringing me out.
I told you, it's bad.
More Salesi Adam games than most. You was like, nah, if you gonna come out, this is gonna be the field that you kind of used to.
Yeah.
This
You know how many
the
times? You know how
field-
many
this
times we
the
get parents mad? They say our kids ain't good enough. You got to understand. Malik Curry was good enough. Eric Ayala was good enough. Trayvon Duval was good enough. How many of them are running around? It's not a lot of them running around.
Ain't many.
It's not that we don't want to
Amen.
take. It's not that we don't want to take the best player. We recruited Nana. He wanted to play with Fido. We recruited Jair Davis. He wanted to play where he wanted to play. We want the best player from the state. They got to want to play.
Right.
We don't want My problem is they want us to take all the Delaware kids. Oh, so you don't respect us as a national program? We're supposed to just take anybody?
Let the record reflect we are national.
Exact. Respect
We
us
are-
as
we are
respect us as such. You would not ask them to take your kid,
Right.
but you want them to come to us because we're in the state.
Oh,
No.
Your kid got ballet practice a little bit later. We just sing.
Right.
We just sing.
Right. It's not personal. We only want the best kid that's going to be able to compete at this level.
The level there is about for competing.
All right, it's not-
Absolutely,
not
man.
disrespect.
It's about competing.
God,
Listen, man.
Thank y'all, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all, man.
Appreciate it, man. Like I said, it's a lot that you guys need to get credit for, which I know you don't really care at this point because your success kind of is your reward at this point. You know what I mean? But with that being said, man, I just thought, we wanted to bring some light to what you guys were doing and the hoops community should rally around what you're doing, whatever endeavor, because I think the track record speaks for itself in terms of winning, in terms of identifying talent, cultivating talent, and that's really what it's all about. You know what I mean? That's really what it's all about. Like you said, make Delaware basketball great again. Whether it can get there or not, I truly appreciate the drive because
I'm glad you took the
living
mantle.
living in another city for a decade, you kind of see the differences. You know what I mean? Talent is not different. It's just the way it's cultivated. It's the way it's cultivated and the way it's managed and the community itself and how it treats it. You know what I mean? So with that being said, man, we appreciate y'all joining in with us, man. Another Tuesday in the books, man. I personally, I've been waiting to get these guys in, man. And like I said, it might deserve a part 2 because it's a lot of meat still on the table. A lot of meat still on the table, man.
They'll have us. We'll have them back any motherfucking chance they get. They'll have us.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But for me, Fresh Fire, I would love to thank Coach Rob, the plug, Coach D&L. We made the Final Four! I just saw that, I want to say yesterday. And that's the kind of shit I'm like, yo, I love that shit. I love that shit. Because I've been on the traveling circuit and I understand where you come from, and ain't a lot of people saying that shit for you. And you might have been the one person saying that shit.
I don't even know the guy with the camera was there.
It's all good.
I had no. I mean, I'm coming back from the game, and the dude showed me the video. I'm like, damn, the camera was there, but it was a raw emotion because
Yeah,
it was like
a moment. It was a moment
because it's like we get a lot of shots, man. We get a lot of shots,
Yeah, I bet
and
you
people
do.
don't understand. This is unprecedented. What's happening out of this state is we have the slam dunk champion. The slam dunk champion comes from this program. Bones Highlands comes from this program. The number one point guard in America at one point came from this program.
Absolutely.
The only kid to go back to back on the circuit came from this program. Like, it goes on and on and on, and I think people just take for granted that it's happened in Delaware.
I believe there are no coincidences.
Closing thoughts, bro. Take us out of here, bro.
Man, I'm glad, you know what I mean? I'm glad y'all joined us tonight.
Thank you.
Like you said, we might have a part 2.
Yes,
Some
you will have us.
basketball, you know what I mean? But I appreciate y'all coming out, man. I definitely appreciate y'all coming out.
Another one in the books, man. We appreciate it, man. We out, man.
Thank y'all, man. Fucking thank y'all.
Oh, no
man.
doubt about it, man.
Nah, man. Nah.